All right, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this week's edition of Inteligense Chek. My name is Grim or Paul, whichever you prefer. I'll be your host, and of course, my co-host to the opposite end of the computer with me is Conrad. What's up, boy?
What's up? What's up?
So, today we are going to look at spells available to all casting classes available to player characters, should you choose to be a spellcaster, be it half or full caster. We have... I spent a good 2 hours one day compiling this list. And holy shit, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to be clear. Hey, Vikram. What's up, there? So, yeah, like I said, guys, Vikram's here. What a guy. So here's the thing, guys. Remember, we are live. Chat is available. So, you have questions you want to ask or talk about, whatever. Feel free to type it in chat. We are looking at chat. We are more than happy to answer any and all questions you guys might have regarding D&D or other stuff. Cooking stir fry, yeah. What a guy.
Fancy.
Very fancy. So, yeah, like I said, we'll be going over cantrips and the spells for each of the levels. Want to be clear about something right at the gate. Most campaigns you're playing will not exceed level 13 most of the time. Maybe 14 you'll hit. So essentially what you're looking at is, at max for full casters, is level 7 spells. That said though, we will of course talk about the more powerful spells, which are 8th, 9th, for sure. But level 7, level 6 spells are usually the max you'll probably get your hands on. So how we are planning to do this is, so looking over the list, I'm looking at several spells which overlap, right?
Yeah.
Between the classes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
quite a few spells like overlap
Yeah.
between the classes.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of spells overlap. So what we're going to do is go across, so let's say we're doing cantrips first. We'll go across all the classes who have access to cantrips, then level 1 spells, all the classes, and then go on and so forth. You will see overlaps happening. So, why do you want to build a spellcaster, Con?
Cause you like magics. The magic. I mean, yeah. I think it's just badass, dude. If you honestly, that's it, right? If you want to play and mess around with magic, that's why you want to play well, there are full-blown spellcasters and of course the half-casters, which we will be talking about their spells also. So I guess it more comes down to, would you want to be a full-blown caster? Or do you want to be someone who has a little bit of magic? But apart from that, I think you're playing a caster otherwise just because you want, like I said, you want the magics.
Yeah.
All the magics.
No, I mean, okay. For those of you who are, let's say, gamers, and first-timers to D&D even, the normal archetypes when it comes down to any fantasy game is the warrior, the rogue, and the mage. Now, a lot of people don't play mage because they're squishy. They have they wear little to no armor, so they get hit very hard. Yeah. That said, D&D gives you options to create some fucking powerful spellcasters.
A lot of magics.
Yeah, some of these magics are just ridiculous. So,
I mean, think about it. Like, there's no other reason why you'd want to play a spellcaster.
100%.
Right?
You are slinging spells left and right. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Doing epic amount of damage. While a barbarian's doing like 30 damage, you're doing like 50. But again, barbarians have a much better DPS all and out. They're like overtime anyway. But still, either way.
Yeah.
So classes that are spellcasters in the game. For those of you who are not aware, who haven't watched our previous class investigations, you have the Artificer, the Bard, the Cleric, the Druid, the Eldritch Knight, which is a fighter subclass, the Paladin, the Ranger, the Arcane Trickster, which is a rogue subclass, the Sorcerer, the Warlock, and the Wizard. These are, for all intents and purposes, the main spellcasters and half-casters in the game. Eldritch Knights, Artificers, Paladins, Rangers, Arcane Tricksters. These 5 classes are half casters. In fact, I would say the Eldritch Knight and the Arcane Trickster are even lower on that spectrum, honestly.
Yeah.
But that said, let's jump into it. We'll begin with the cantrip options that you guys have. So like I said, we'll go across the list of the classes and we'll go by spell level. So, cantrips, Artificers. Okay, here's a question. Do I read this off or do I just pick a few?
Like we could just read off of them also.
Okay, so Artificers, so if those of you not aware, cantrips are spells that you can use for free. They don't cost spell slots, they just cost, some of them are actions, some of them are bonus actions. So the idea is, these are going to be your bread and butter to dish out damage or any utility spells that you like, instead of having to use up your spell slots, which are extremely valuable depending on the class that you're picking. So you'd be hesitant to use, say, a first or second level spell slot when maybe a cantrip would just do and be fine with.
True.
Yeah. So Artificers, what Con and I have decided to go with is are these cantrips, which is with Firebolt, Mending, Message, Prestidigitation, Spare the Dying, Mage Hand, Magic Stone, Green Flame Blade, and Shocking Grasp. Now, Firebolt, everyone knows, is a extremely reliable source and good ranged cantrip. 120 feet, fire damage 1d10, going up to 2d10 at level 5, and then as it scales up, it gains even more dice. It's a very reliable source of damage.
Yeah.
And anyone, like sorcerers get this, wizards get this, and it's just good. It's a good source of damage and constant, fire. Every turn you can do this, no problem.
Yeah, that's the beauty about cantrips, especially the damaging ones. And when the damaging ones actually manage to do the damage they do, it's free damage, dude. That's why I always call a damaging cantrip just free damage.
It's free damage, yeah, 100%.
I term it as free damage in the game. It costs you nothing. Like, you just have to. Some of them have attack rolls to them, some of them don't. And it's just like the enemy would probably have to make a save. And only thing is, like, probably I guess cantrips are just like, they're just not too OP. That's the only thing about them. But free damage, baby.
Yeah, free damage. And like I said, they scale to the late game. So at the end of it, you could have a Firebolt doing 4d10 damage.
Yeah,
that's
this
potentially
at
20...
5th level itself. Yeah, 5th level is 2d10. From 2d10, then itself, you start 2d10 itself from 1d10 is a d10 scale. That's nuts.
That's potentially 20 damage per turn. That's pretty good.
Take an average of 10 also. Average 10 or 12 if you want to take on the damage. Sure.
Because, end of the day, 1 damage is better than no damage.
Yeah.
I want to be clear about that, guys. 1 damage is better than no damage. So, some of these are extremely class dependent, right? So, I said like Mending, for example. Mending is always a valuable cantrip to have. You get to repair something that's 1 foot wide and 1 foot long. So say your cart breaks down or you break your bow in half or something, you can just use Mending and repair it.
Yeah.
Mending has got various applications, and be creative with this. You can actually do some really fun stuff with Mending.
That's why for Artificers, it's really cool to actually have Mending as one of your cantrips. Especially considering you're constantly working on things. Who knows? This cantrip could just probably save you that one roll your DM was going to make you. You'll never know.
Yeah, for example, if you pick
be smart about it.
If you pick a Battlesmith, you get a robot familiar with you. When he takes damage, use Mending and heal him.
Use Mending, heal the guy.
Simple, straightforward. It's very good that way. Then, of course, Message. Super valuable. 60 feet of telepathic messaging to one target only, and 25 words. But they can talk to you across distances. Nobody can intercept it.
Communication, man.
Communication.
It solves that in such a huge way. And this is one of those spells that you're going to start seeing, as Paul was saying earlier, you'll see some of these repeating again in other classes. You'll see some of these spells. Message is one of those spells.
Yeah, Message is useful on anybody who can get access to it. It's very useful. Because the ability to talk to somebody over a distance, like say someone's gone up ahead, you're in a dangerous area, you can't shout out for their attention. Send a message. It's all in their heads, it's not out loud, and they can reply back as well. It's a very good spell, great for communication, great for scouting, all this other good stuff, and it's nice.
Free.
It's free.
Free.
Yeah. Then we have Prestidigitation. This is like I believe the word is catch-all kind of spell. You can light fires, extinguish fires, make smells, make sounds. It's very good for distracting people or creating issues, or just like, I need to make a fire. I don't have a tinder box. Prestidigitation, create fire.
Covering up your tracks.
Yeah, covering up your tracks, yeah. All viable options. Prestidigitation, Thaumaturgy, Druidcraft, all of these come into the same kind of, what's what I'm looking for? Functionality.
Yeah. And like, I notice a lot of times people actually leave out these spells. They're like, what am I going to fucking do with Thaumaturgy? Dude, it's actually some cool shit you can do. Especially like maybe in one shots and all that. Okay, yeah, maybe you're going to take something that would actually make sense for the battle you're going to like get into immediately. But if you're playing a long campaign, something like Thaumaturgy like can help you cause distractions for the most part. Awesome.
It's very good. Like again, these are all giving you. It's like a utility, all encompassing utility tool for anything you might need. It's a very powerful cantrip. Even though it sounds like, I can put on a fire, light a fire, whatever. I'm like, no. The applications of Prestidigitation, Thaumaturgy, and Druidcraft have some really cool applications for creativity.
Yeah.
You can come up with some really creative stuff with it. It's quite nice. Then we have Spare the Dying. Need I say more?
One of my favorite cantrips.
It's really good. Clerics and Artificers get this, and it's extremely good. Essentially, when you drop to 0 hit points, right, as a player, you have to roll death saving throws on your turn. And the chances of you dying are 50-50 every time you roll. What Spare the Dying does, it stabilizes the person who is down. Like say your cleric is out of spells, there are no more healing spells available, you have no potions. The only drawback of this is that it's a touch spell.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yes, only drawback. So you have to walk up to the person who is unconscious, cast Spare the Dying on them, but they can no longer fail their death saving throws. So even if they roll garbage on their saving throw, they don't take a failure because they are stabilized. So they can keep rolling at the top of their turn until they succeed and get back up once they hit the required amount. So Spare the Dying is super valuable.
I've personally saved a Warhammer party from TPK with this fucking spell. Got it on 3 of them.
It's like, don't die.
Yeah, don't die. I'll get to you in a bit.
Yeah,
wait, I'm out of spells. See, that's when it comes in handy. That's why I was telling Mooks also, he was making for his cleric, right? So I was giving him, I was like, Mancha, if you want, I can give you advice on clerics because I've played a lot of cleric. So I can tell you, as a cantrip, Spare the Die, take it. He's like, I was like, I know you have that doubt, but trust me, that spell comes in clutch in the moment, especially when you can't heal someone. Yeah. What the fuck do you do?
Exactly.
Instead of watching them die, just run, go touch them. That's all. They'll be fine.
Exactly. It's super good because in the heat of combat, you have a choice. Say the enemy is nearly dead.
Yeah.
Are you going to save your friend from death, pick him back up, or kill the motherfucker who's been attacking you guys? It's one of those weird situations, right?
It's very weird. In that situation, that was exactly what I was in. That's what like Honey was in. 3 of them went down. And I'm left with this. Well, it was pretty hurt. What was it? Those fucking damn man, I'm forgetting what they're called. But yeah, just think it's a crazy assassin creature. Okay, it hits really hard, and it's Shiv's character, so you can be sure it hits stupidly hard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just standing there. I'm like, okay. So one round I went, got one person, spare the dying. By the time in that round, the other person fell down. I was like, oh no. Okay, so on that turn, thankfully my turn was coming next. I ran to that person. Then after that, waited the next person. After that, finally, Adi's character also fell down. The next round, I was like, oh no. So went. Thankfully, the creature had finished killing him. So I went, spared the dying. I waited. He's like, okay, it's the creature on you now. I was like, yes, please miss. It missed.
Yeah.
I did toll the dead on it and killed it too.
Yeah.
It failed its save. 2 d12s. I got a 10 and 11 or something. Almost like
Nice.
critted with it. High scores, yeah. And she was like, so how do you want to do this? I was like, no. And did I just kill that with fuck? No.
Yeah.
It told the dead. And yeah, spare the dying helped save them, dude. Like,
Yeah.
jeez.
It's a very, very underrated, I would think, and very powerful.
Yeah.
Because again, like next turn, somebody could just get a natural 20 and get back up. You never know. So it's always valuable to have. Then we have Mage Hand. Underrated as fuck.
Yeah.
Stupidly powerful. This thing's so essentially what you create a spectral hand that is independent of you. You can cast it 30 feet away from you, and it can travel around and touch things for you. Like, say, for example, there's a trapped chest and you don't know it's trapped. You can have your mage hand go and trigger the trap, and nobody gets affected by it because you're miles away from the effect of the trap. You want to see if something's real or not, but you don't want to touch it. Use your mage hand to see if they say it's a illusionary wall, but you don't know that. You're like, this wall looks sus. Let me just send my mage hand in. Mage hand will go touch it. Either it'll go through without a problem, or the mage hand will get destroyed, but you take no damage. You can, like, say for example, if you're going to be an arcane trickster, you get mage hand by default, and your mage hand is invisible. You can actually have your mage hand pick locks from far away as an arcane trickster.
Yeah.
It's super good. You can pick pockets, all this good stuff that you can do. So mage hand is actually extremely valuable and it's very, very good. If you get access to it, I would recommend looking at it and seeing if you can make it work within your playstyle.
Yeah.
Then we have Magic Stone. This is actually an extremely underrated cantrip.
It is actually. Pretty cool one.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. And the best part is, like, this is one of the few cantrips that actually use your ability modifier as damage. So let's say you are a wizard, or maybe an artificer, fuck it. When you roll something like Firebolt, it does 1d10 flat, or 2d10 flat, or whatever it is. The thing with Magic Stone is, it does, I believe, 1d6.
1d6.
Yeah, plus your spellcasting modifier. So,
It's
and you get, so essentially it's a bonus action to cast. You pick up 3 stones on the ground, make them magical, and you can fling them at people 60 feet away. So,
It's a bonus action also. It's awesome.
yeah, bonus action cast and then throw. I mean, throwing is an action, but still, what my point is, as you're walking around the world, you can just pick up rocks, have a little bag, put rocks in them, and just carry it with you. So you always have ammunition on hand. And also, it's magical damage as well. So anyone who's got like resistance to non-magical attacks, Magic Stone just bypasses that shit and they take the fucking bludgeoning damage. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a very underrated. Not many people are fond of it, but it's a very good spell. Like for an artificer, it's almost thematic because you like turning stuff into magical stuff. So it works out really, really well. So Magic Stone, fantastic. Then we have Green Flame Blade. Now, this is extremely situational on which class you're building. So let's say you're playing a Battlesmith who has access to melee weapons. I mean, you have melee weapon proficiency regardless, but a Battlesmith is actually good with their melee weapons. Green Flame Blade is an option for you to do extra damage. It's an action to use. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But essentially what it does is you hit the target with your weapon, you do the weapon's damage, plus the Green Flame Blade damage. So it's extra damage. The best part about Green Flame Blade is if there are multiple targets in front of you, the flames can jump to an extra target, 5 feet away from your other target.
Pretty cool.
So you can do it's a very low level AoE spell which is extremely effective. If you're building an Hexblade Warlock, this is an idea. You're building an Eldritch Knight, go for it. You want to be an Arcane Trickster with daggers, go for it. Really good. Really good fun. And last but not least, Shocking Grasp. This thing is actually more powerful than you think. It's a melee cantrip.
Melee, yeah.
Yeah. But the beauty of the situation is, if you're up against targets who are wearing metal armor, you have advantage on the attack. And you do lightning damage. If it hits, the target loses their reaction. Which is insane. As an artificer or whoever you want, walk up to them. If they're wearing metal armor, hit them with advantage, do the damage, and then you can walk away and they can't hit you because they're just like shocked and like they're paralyzed for 1 second.
Yeah. That's a D8 of damage.
It's a D8 of damage. It's
at lower level.
Good. Yeah. And
5th level, it's 2D8 and then 3D8. Oof.
Yeah. If you're going to melee, Shocking Grasp is phenomenal. And this is just the Artificer. We've got plenty more to go. But like I said, the other ones, there's a lot of overlap, so keep that in mind. Moving on towards the Bard. The Bard gets Vicious Mockery. Why you should always pick up Vicious Mockery.
Yeah.
Because again, it's only 1d4 of psychic damage.
But dude, trust me that
Yeah.
It's a very disadvantage on the target's next roll. Trust me, it actually gets annoying at one point. I remember Adi getting annoyed with me in the Abyss game, and he's like, "Stop it! I know it doesn't do damage, but that disadvantage is annoying." I was like, "Yes, disadvantage."
Yeah, it's great. I mean, again, it's a saving throw spell. So one thing we need to be clear about something. Cantrips, if they have saving throws, and if the enemy succeeds against the saving throw, the cantrip does no damage and no effect. Keep that in mind. That's probably the only... So the thing is, like, if you're going to... Like, some people like to build against type. Like, you want to have a low charisma bard. You can do it, but then Vicious Mockery is going to be useless to you if you don't have a good spell save DC. Right? Yeah. So, if you're going to be using... what do you call it? Saving throws based cantrips or spells. Make sure that you're speccing into your actual spellcasting modifier so that you'd actually do things with it. Otherwise, it's pointless. Like if you have like say a 10 charisma, which is a 0 in modifier, your spell save DC is 10, which is very low. So chances are Vicious Mockery is going to do jack all for you.
Yeah, and honestly, as a spellcaster, especially if you're a full spellcaster, man, just put everything into your spellcasting ability. Just make sure that is maxed out. That's your max stat.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything else. Especially, this is mainly if you're a full-blown spellcaster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Vicious Mockery always useful. 1d4 damage, then 2d4 damage at 5, and then goes up further. And if they fail the saving throw, they take the damage, and their next attack has disadvantage. which is super valuable.
Super troll, dude.
Yeah, great. Bards also get Mage Hand. We spoke about that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Minor Illusion. Minor Illusion is actually quite powerful.
It's used in the right way.
Yeah.
This is one of those spells where creativity determines your outcome. It's one of those spells.
Like it's weird. Like Minor Illusion creates a 5 foot by 5 foot cube of whatever the fuck you want. It's an image. It looks real for a second, but with some magical things. So in case, like, for example, as a bard, you can use Minor Illusion in your performances.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell stories with Minor Illusion. It's super cool. Like it's
super cool.
It's a lot of creative application, and a degree of thought has to go into it. Like even in combat, or say you're sneaking around somewhere, Minor Illusion can create distractions. It's got a lot of application, and the only limitation is your imagination.
Yeah.
So use it, have fun with it. It's always useful. Many people put it away. Like, again, in a one shot, probably not going to do much for you.
Yeah.
But in a long-term campaign, could be extremely valuable. Could be.
As a bard, I would say, keep it.
Yeah.
It's a good cantrip to have as a bard.
It's very useful. Once again, Prestidigitation, that overlaps. We spoke about that. Mending, we spoke about it as well. The light cantrip. Now, this is a purely utility spell. But again, its applications are pretty good. Like, say, for example, you have a character that does not have dark vision. Or you have party members who don't have dark vision. You chose to pick a race which doesn't get dark vision innately. You can just touch their armors, touch their weapons, touch something on their body, and cast light on it. And they will exude a light of 20 feet bright, 20 feet dim. So it's a way for them to be able to see what's happening at least 20 feet in front of them. Valuable. Like, if, for example, even let's say there's a gargantuan hole in the ground, and you think something might be in that hole. Grab a pebble, cast light on it, drop it.
Yep.
And see how far it goes. Yeah. See how far it goes till you lose vision of it.
Because that's 20 feet of light, so that's good.
And it lasts for an hour.
Yeah.
So it can be falling for an hour, and eventually you can hear when it hits the ground, whatever. So you know where the bottom of the edge is. Or you might even trigger some creatures to fly, maybe bats or something will fly out, and you've cleared out a potential danger from the cave.
Yeah.
You can create distractions, you can create whatever you want. It's good. It's a very good
It's
spell.
really good.
Yeah.
Like, in so many times I've seen it mainly being used, like, especially if someone in the party doesn't have dark vision, if anyone has light, they just pop this and then everyone is fine.
Yeah. the only fuck up is stealth becomes a problem. But still.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Then we have dancing lights. Now, this is one of the few cantrips that require concentration, which I realized. So, dancing lights is you create 3. Is it 3? I think 3, right?
I believe 4. Yeah.
4. You create 4 globules of light, which you can send out to 120 feet. And they can be dimmed, brightened, change their colors. So again, as a bard, use this during your performance. You can create a disco. You can create disco.
Between this and minor illusion, you're sorted.
Yeah, you can create some really cool things for roleplay. And good fun. like say you want to make a performance check at a tavern to make some money. You do dancing lights with minor illusion, and you can get some amazing effects. People might pay you even more gold for what they just witnessed because it was so cool. Like, as a DM, I'll say, yeah, fucking roll the performance with advantage.
Yeah, at advantage.
Do it. Do it. It'll be super fun. Make some money. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dancing lights, very useful. Again,
this is another nice one. Yeah, for that, for scouting out things like through a cave, send these in just to have a look, see how far it goes.
Yeah. I mean, again, of course, the only problem is someone sees a light, they're like, what is that light? And immediately ambush happens or whatever.
Light is light.
Light is light. But it's still valuable. It's still it's very interesting and good cantrip to get your hands on. Purely for the fact that if you need to see something, dancing lights is useful.
Yeah.
And then finally we have friends. Now, it's a charm effect, so there's a saving throw involved with it. But if you manage to befriend somebody, I think for the next minute, is it?
Friends, I believe, is a minute, yes.
Yeah.
It's a concentration as well.
It's a concentration spell as well. So keep that in mind as well. But here's the thing, though. It's a charm effect. So when a creature is charmed by you, you have advantage on any charisma checks against. So deception, persuasion, intimidation. Although why you would intimidate your friend, don't do that. That's just not kosher. But again, viable option. Problem though, the moment friends drops, they know that that the target you charmed knows that they were charmed by you. So that's probably the only thing. So like, either get the information you want and knock the motherfucker out so he doesn't remember you or some shit. But again, the application is there. You can potentially, in the middle of a fight, you use friends. You can turn somebody on the enemy team as an ally for just, not even an ally, just like, hey dude, do you mind? Can you just sit down for a bit? While we deal with this? They'll be like, yeah, sure, go for it. And they get to kill everybody else and leave this guy for last. When the effect ends, he's like, ah, shit. And then you jump on him and kill him.
Yeah.
So, it's good. Friends has applications. It's about being clever, though. You got to be careful how you use it and be smart about it. Because sometimes it'll backfire and then, well, get fucked. But that's the bard. Let's get to clerics. Toll the Dead.
Yay! That's
This
it. We can
is-
end talk about cantrips. This is the best cantrip in the game.
I disagree. There's a better
So
one.
thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Toll the Dead is a stupidly powerful cantrip which, when it fails, feels really bad.
Feels really bad. But at the same time, it's free. You don't lose anything. So you feel
Yeah.
bad and then you're like, it was a shot. So it's okay.
Yeah. So, for those of you unaware, Toll the Dead essentially is you cast it on a target. They have to make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they take 1d8 of necrotic damage. But if they have been damaged previously, like say they took 1 point of damage, doesn't matter. 1, 10, 15 points of damage, doesn't matter. If they're not at max health, Toll the Dead does a 1d12 of necrotic damage.
Amazing.
And it scales up. At level 5, you have
Yep.
2d12, and so
Yep.
on and so forth. It's actually a lot of damage.
Yep.
It's a lot of damage. I have seen combats end because some motherfucker used Toll the Dead. I'm like, they killed my monster, man. God damn it.
Yeah.
But the imagery, whenever you kill something, or even, what does your Toll the Dead look like? Some people like a spectral bell covers the target. Soundlessly, it vibrates and the creature's like eyes and ears are bleeding. I'm like, that's such a cool visual. You know, visually that's stunning and terrifying. But that's essentially what Toll the Dead is. It's super cool.
It's amazing.
Really, really fun. It's a good spell. Clerics, if you don't want Sacred Flame, Toll the Dead is good.
Yeah.
That said, Spare the Dying. Clerics get
Spare
it.
the
Already
dying.
spoke about it.
Yeah.
Sacred Flame. This is the bread and butter of the cleric class. Let's be honest. Everyone picks up Sacred Flame. Does 1d8 of radiant damage. Dexterity saving throw. If they fail, they take the damage. It's free damage.
Yeah.
Now it's a toss-up between, again, like if your target is resistant to necrotic damage, then Sacred Flame is probably your best.
No,
bet.
it's radiant damage.
No. Thing is, Toll the Dead is necrotic.
Oh, Toll the Dead, yes.
Yeah. So say they're resistant to
You're
Toll the
saying
Dead.
like that. Correct.
Yeah. Pick Sacred Flame instead. It's a good, I mean, it's always
Good to have
weird. Yeah. Well, the weird thing also is the fact that some classes get limited amount of cantrips to access to.
True.
So it's like, the idea is to have at least one damaging cantrip and a couple of utilities.
Yeah.
But Toll the Dead makes it. Toll the Dead will fight for your cantrip choice for damage between Sacred Flame or Toll the Dead.
My clerics have had, I think we get 3 cantrips, at least till the levels I've played. So I've had Spare the Dying, Toll the Dead, Sacred Flame. These have been my 3 cantrips. So both of them. And yeah, all 3 of them, I can say, have come out, like have played such a huge role.
Yeah. No, Toll the Dead is a very good cantrip.
Yeah.
Sacred Flame
No,
is also
as you
very
said,
good.
Sacred Flame also, as you said, when you know the damage type is not working for necrotic, man, Sacred Flame is so good.
Yeah, because I mean,
And
radiant
same
damage
the other way
is-
around also.
Yeah, like radiant damage is one of the least resisted types of damage in the game.
Yeah.
So having a free source of radiant damage is always valuable. It's quite valuable. And then finally, we have Mending after that, which we already spoke about. And then Thaumaturgy, which we also spoke about. Now, Thaumaturgy has an extra effect which Prestidigitation doesn't give you. You can make your voice boom. You can change the color of your eyes. So you can look menacing as fuck with Thaumaturgy. You can do some really intimidating stuff with Thaumaturgy. You can open doors and close windows. You know? Again, valuable things that you're potentially able to do. So Thaumaturgy, use it. It's quite good. Creative uses of it does some amazing stuff. You do some really cool things. If you guys watch anything, I no longer watch Critical Role, but if you watch them, they use Thaumaturgy really, really well.
Yeah.
Couple of characters. I mean, in the initial episodes, they never use it again after that. But when they use it, it's super creative.
Yeah.
So it's fun like that. But that's cleric cantrips. Let's move on to druids. Magic Stone, spoken about. Primal Savagery.
Here we go.
Melee
Yeah, it's
cantrip.
another favorite of mine.
Yeah. So essentially, druids, for those who are not aware, are like nature magic casters. Okay? So when you use Primal Savagery, the description says you either elongate your nails from your hand or you grow massive fangs and you attack the target in melee. The one fuck up with it though, I believe it's 1d10 damage?
Yes.
Yeah, 1d10.
Acid damage.
Acid. But the problem is it's acid damage. Acid damage, for those of you unaware, apart from poison, is one of the most highly resisted damage types. Now, in early levels, Primal Savagery is very useful. Very few things have any resistances at all. So it's very valuable. Get into melee and just rip someone's fucking stomach open with your claws or your teeth. Or you bite their neck off. You know, that's pretty much what Primal Savagery is. Like, literally, the word is Primal Savagery.
Yeah.
It is nasty. And it does quite a good amount of damage as long as the target...
Good amount of damage, dude.
Yeah, as long as the target is not resistant to acid damage. Super viable. Then we have Chilile.
Yeah.
Fantastic melee spell. So, essentially what Chilile is, it's a bonus action to use. And you need to have a club or a staff or something of the sort. Essentially, it turns it into a magical weapon and its damage includes your spellcasting modifier. So, where something like a quarterstaff or a club or whatever normally would use strength for damage. Chilile turns it into one, a magical weapon, and second, the damage is based off your wisdom, since you're a druid. So Chilile is super valuable. If you're going in melee as a druid, some people love to go melee in druid, no problem. Yeah. Chilile is a great option. Would recommend it. It's very good. Even some other classes can get access to Chilile. I'd recommend those classes pick up Chilile. Then we have Thorn Whip.
Ooh, this is also a good spell.
It's a great spell. And there's no saving throw, which is the fucking thing. Weird thing. So I believe it has a 30-foot range?
It's a 30-foot range.
30-foot range. So essentially you conjure a vine out of nowhere and fling it at a dude. It hits them, does piercing damage, I believe.
Piercing damage, 1d6 piercing damage.
Piercing
and you
damage.
can pull the creature up to 10 feet closer to you.
Exactly. So you can displace people. And we've spoken on this episode, on this channel, how many times about displacement. You can pull a dude into a cliff, into a trap, off a cliff. Yeah, just go zip, fuck off. But then you pull them towards you. That's the only thing. But then this could save your wizard's life, could save your rogue's life, your sorcerer's life, your cleric's life. Again, all options. Like if you're a Circle of the Moon druid, Thorn Whip, bring you over here. Bonus action, turn to a bear. What's up?
You could have your wizard hold that fireball ready because the guy was just out of range. Just pull him just a little closer and boom, release.
Hey, Evocation Wizard. Fireball right here. Cool.
Yeah.
I take no damage, enemy takes full damage. It's great. Just moving, you get to control the battlefield on your turn, which is always valuable.
Free!
For free. For free. Well, other people have to use other more powerful spells to do so. You get to do it for free.
As a druid, take it.
Yeah,
take it.
It's valuable.
Thorn Whip is one of those you should have. It's really good. Really good.
Like I would say Chilile and Thorn Whip will be fighting for your for your situation.
Yeah.
Then we have Mending, spoke about that. And Druidcraft, we already spoke about because Thaumaturgy, Prestidigitation, Druidcraft. The Druidcraft is a little more nature-based. You can make flowers bloom and grow. All the, really cool stuff that you can do. But that's the Druids. Let's move on to Eldritch Knights. Now, Eldritch Knights are the subclass for the fighters, and they get access to the Wizard spell list. And you're picking up Booming Blade, because why the fuck wouldn't you pick up Booming Blade?
Yeah.
Booming Blade, you use it, you smack a dude, and if they try to move, they take thunder damage.
Thunder damage, yeah.
And it's quite good. So essentially, like so let's say you have the mobile feat as a fighter, walk up to dude, smack his ass, move away from him. If he tries to move after you, he takes thunder damage. And that scales up as level goes up. It's very good. Green Flame Blade, already spoke about, valuable on melee fighters. Shocking Grasp, already spoke about, Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have Paladins and Rangers. These are the two actual half-casters who do not get access to cantrips. The only way to get a cantrip is depending on your class and if that class has innate magic. So something like a Drow Ranger will have access to Dancing Lights. Say you're an Aasimar Paladin, you gain the Light cantrip. But Paladins and Rangers at base do not get cantrip access. Because they do enough damage as is, they don't need enough. They don't need another source of damage.
Jeez.
I mean, push come to shove, if you want, as a Paladin, pick up Magic Initiate, gain Booming Blade or Green Flame Blade to augment your smites. Just more damage out the ass if you want that. But yeah, Rangers, Paladins, no cantrips for them. Arcane Tricksters. Rogue subclass. Again, like the Eldritch Knight, you gain access to the Wizard spell list. You gain Mage Hand by default, already spoke about it, and you can pick up Message and Minor Illusion as extra cantrips for you to use. Yeah. So again, we already spoke about those, super valuable. Moving on to Sorcerers. Firebolt, already spoke about it. Mage Hand, spoke about it. Message, spoke about it. Mind Sliver.
Ooh, let's go.
Mind Sliver is a new spell introduced in Tasha's Cauldron to everything. And it is fucking nuts. 1d6 psychic damage, intelligence saving throw. They fail the save, they take the damage, and the next saving throw they make, they have to reduce 1d4 from that saving throw. For sorcerers, this thing is fucking valuable as hell.
Yeah.
You have two bad guys. Twin spell, Mind Sliver, they both fail. Quicken spell, Fireball. They have to do 1d4 to their saving throws, and chances are they're probably going to fail, and they're going to take that fucking damage.
Yep.
It's so good. Mind Sliver is sorcerers use Mind Sliver better than anybody.
Dude, you just took that sentence out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I was just
Socks.
They use
Socks
it better than anyone else.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, in the sense that they get to abuse it themselves. While say the Warlock or the Wizard will get access to it as well, you're setting up somebody else to abuse the Mind Sliver. But Sorcerers, you can abuse it yourself because you have flexible casting and it's dumb. Do so much fucking damage. But yeah, Mind Sliver, get it. Don't look. Yeah. If you have access to it, get it. Like
as Sorcerer, especially Mind Sliver, Firebolt. You're good with these two in hand as a cantrips, definitely.
100%. Because sorcerers get 4 cantrips when you pick one.
Yeah.
So I've said Firebolt, Mage Hands, Mind Sliver, Message.
Yeah.
There's your list. Go for it. Have fun. Mind Sliver. If you have access to it, get it. That thing is fucking dumb. It's amazing. Warlocks. Eldritch Blast. Without question, the best damaging cantrip in the entire game.
Yeah.
Without question. 120 feet, 1d10, force damage. Force damage. Now keep that in mind. Force damage is, apart from radiant damage and psychic damage, is one of the least... In fact, I don't think anything resists force damage. So it is a completely... it's a completely beautiful way to do damage. And unlike other cantrips, you get more beams. While their dice goes up, you get to attack more times per turn. So I think at max level, you have 5 beams of Eldritch Blast. And
Lordy Lord.
With Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast, you can push one target 50 feet away off a cliff into a trap, into whatever the fuck. It's amazing. Eldritch Blast. If you're a Warlock, get Eldritch Blast. If you're any other class, if you get access to Eldritch Blast, use it. Like, for example, if you pick, again, Magic Initiate as a Bard, you can get Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, you could.
Actually, anyone can get Eldritch Blast if they want to. Only problem is you won't have Agonizing Blast, but still.
Yeah.
At level 5, 2 beams of D10 force damage. Pretty valuable. Pretty valuable. But yeah, like in fact, I even put Eldritch Blast in like fucking full capital letters on the list.
I saw that.
Yeah. But again, options also. If you're going, let's say you're going to go a Hexblade Warlock and you don't want to use Eldritch Blast. You have Green Flame Blade, Booming Blade as an option.
Booming Blade, yeah.
So yeah, those are great. Then we come to Wizards. Firebolt, Mage Hand, Mindslaver, Message. Great.
Yeah.
If you're going for a, let's say you're going for a, what do you call it? What's it called? Blade Singer Wizard. Green Flame Blade, Booming Blade. But what makes it viable to use on Blade Singers is the fact that there's an ability you get. I think it's level, I can't remember which level it is, but essentially you can make a cantrip attack as part of one of your attacks. Because level 6 is when you get extra attack for
Blade Singers.
For Blade Singers. So you can actually do extra attack. You can attack twice. One time with your cantrip and one time with a normal attack. They're the only class that gets access to do that, which is super valuable. So you can do Booming Blade, smack a guy, walk away, and make them take more damage. It's really good. Or just Green Flame Blade, just burn the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Super valuable, super good. But that's the cantrips. Honestly, that's everything. So, but now
solid cantrips, dude.
Some really good
honestly,
cantrips.
Yeah. Need some good free damage in there. And utility. Free utility and damage.
Now we move on to first level spells. So these spells, like in the initial levels, this will become your source of damage.
Yeah, your bread and butter for a while, especially if you're starting off straight from level 1. So say if you're doing for a long time, these level 1 and of course level 2 spells will be your bread and butter for a while.
Yeah, but then after a point, you start sacrificing these low level spell slots to do better shit.
Yeah.
Or you're upcasting your spells to a higher level anyway. So you always have these first level spell slots for whatever you might need. Now, keep in mind, half-casters like Artificers, Paladins, and Rangers, all that kind of stuff, they have a limited amount of spell slots. So you won't be using your spell slots as much as you will your cantrips. This is why your cantrip choices are extremely, it's important.
Yeah.
It's quite important. Other classes can just throw out level spells whatever the fuck they want. Half-casters have to be extremely careful about firing off their spells. But that said, Artificers. You gain access to Alarm. Alarm is a ritual spell. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I've got a phone call to take that. Just continue, no?
Yeah. So as Paul was saying, Alarm, beautiful spell. So being a ritual spell, now talking about we were doing cantrips all this while. So now with spells, as we've mentioned about this earlier, especially when we've touched upon all the various spellcasting classes, some spellcasters can ritually cast spells, and Alarm is one of those spells that can be ritually casted. So you don't have to use a spell slot. You don't have to prepare the spell. Even if you're a caster that can prepare spells, you don't have to prepare the spell. You can just spend I think it takes about an action to do it. So then it would take a minute for you to ritually cast it. So you cast the spell. You can set a sort of magical alarm for yourself that's that's got a 20-foot cube. That's the radius of this alarm. And you can set a trigger. That trigger could just pop in your head. Like you
or
just
a
get
loud
the
trigger.
hey, or a loud one also if you want it to be audible. Yes.
Yeah. It's quite good. In fact, like say you're going into a unknown dungeon and there are rooms you've missed. You don't want to get ganked by something from behind you. Put the alarm spell behind you and walk ahead. Anything that crosses over that point of entry will trigger your alarm, be it loud or mental. So you know danger close or danger heading towards us. Problem though.
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours. Problem though, you can't designate what triggers it. Like your allies won't trigger it, of course. But a fucking rat, a harmless
could
rat
trigger it.
could trigger it.
It's one of those things,
Yeah.
It's a level 1 spell.
Yeah.
So
it's it's still valuable, but again, keep in mind that sometimes it might be a false alarm.
Yeah.
Then we have Cure Wounds. Great spell.
If I always say, like, if you have access to Cure Wounds, take Cure Wounds. Nothing like it. If you have that
1d8
one
plus
one
spellcasting
level
modifier.
1 spell to spare, please take it.
Yeah,
Please.
it's a good healing one, and especially let's say you're going, you have a wizard with, not wizard, cleric. You have magic initiate. You picked up find familiar. You can cast cure wounds through your familiar,
Oh yeah.
which is amazing. But cure wounds 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier in healing. It's a chunky amount of healing.
Yep.
Super valuable. Get it. It's good. Detect magic. Again, the amount of times this thing has saved people's lives is nuts. I cannot begin to describe how many times this has saved people's lives.
And it's also a ritual spell, guys. So
Yeah.
remember, you don't have to use slots, so you can actually take your time. Like, when you get to a place, you'll be like, okay, guys, give me 10 minutes. Yeah, been there, been there.
Yeah. One thing also, make sure that you are in fact a ritual caster. Otherwise, you can't cast spells ritually. That's one thing we have to mention that quickly also. Not every class
No,
has
we
ritual
mentioned that.
spellcasting.
I mentioned that when we were talking about alarm.
Cool.
I mentioned about ritual spell.
Yeah. Another thing also, which I didn't realize, detect magic actually requires concentration. I did not know that.
It does.
Yeah. So, be careful about that.
I mean, you're going to be using it. You're going to be using detect magic clearly when you're not concentrating on anything else. You're clearly sensing on something. So, I don't think it would clash as much.
Yeah, I mean,
At least for me so far, it never clashed.
yeah, but the thing is, like, something like detect magic could be useful in the middle of a fight also. If someone uses invisibility, you
Could
can
be.
sense that illusion magic somewhere. Like, it's there.
We could do that. Yeah.
60 feet away from me, that motherfucker's invisible. I think he's got some magical effect on him. Illusion magic. I don't know what's going on. Potentially very good. This will also help you find magical traps. I had a party who triggered a trap 3 times because they didn't have detect magic.
Oh no, they didn't have it?
I mean, they used it, but only one person had it.
Oh.
And that's a furball who gets it innately. Can only cast it once per short rest. Per
Oh,
long rest,
feels
no?
bad.
So they triggered a magical trap 3 times. Which was unfortunate. If they had detect magic, they would have known, okay, let's not go there. That's a little sketch. But no, detect magic is super good. Especially like say you don't have the identify spell or something like that. You at least know something is magical. You can detect magical objects around you, which can be extremely valuable in looking for certain artifacts or certain items. Like say you're going to a cave to find X item lost by some dude. I lost my magical sword. Please go find my sword. Detect magic can help you find it.
Yep.
So again,
For a radius
valuable.
of 30 feet.
Yeah, radius of 30 feet, which means 60 feet in diameter, of course. Emanating from you. So super valuable. Then we have, which I think is an extremely underrated but powerful spell,
Oh, it's an awesome spell.
Verifier. This spell is so good. So fucking good. Essentially, they make a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC. If they fail, you can light them up like a fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And targets who are invisible are now visible and they cannot turn invisible again.
Yeah.
Until the spell's
This-
effect is gone.
It's essentially a 20-foot cube
Yeah.
that you cast, and everyone within that.
Exactly. There's no target limit. If everyone's
There's no target.
if
Everyone.
everyone's clumped up in that 20-foot cube, they need to make the save. Even your allies. So be careful where you throw it. But again, it's a concentration spell. But those targets who fail the save and are lit up by your Verifier, any attack against them, ranged, spell, or melee, has advantage. Which means you have more opportunities to crit a motherfucker. And you do more chance to hit, more damage, all out. Verifier, super useful. If you can pick it up, you have access to it, use it, abuse it, it's great. Featherfall. Now this is extremely situational, but it's a worthwhile pickup, I feel. For someone like an artificer, so artificers, druids, and clerics, even watched the previous videos, you gain access to your entire spell list for the spell or the level that you are. So if you are a level 1 caster, you have access to your entire level 1 spell list. You don't have to prepare Featherfall every day, but it's pretty valuable regardless. You are walking through treacherous terrain, there are cliffs near you, Or let's just say you guys want to jump to safety, like jump away from a target and there's a way to get down from there. Featherfall is great. You can choose you and 5 other creatures. You guys jump off a cliff and as a reaction, you cast Featherfall on everyone and you guys fall slowly to the ground. Now, the effect lasts for a minute or until you hit the ground. Now, I used this on one of the fights in my Farland game. I got picked up by a creature in the Underdark I got flown into the air. Shiv shot it, killed it. I am now 60 feet in the air. I cast Featherfall on myself. So I'm falling slowly. I'm falling 10 feet every round. Then, next round, another motherfucker comes and grabs me, pulls me 70 feet in the air. So I was a fucking balloon being kept in the air. I was out of the fight for so fucking long. Because I was just floating up and down. I get grabbed, chucked in the air.
Bend down.
Bend down. That was so rough, dude. But it's great because you're up there. Targets on the ground can't hit you. So you're just like firing fire, just hitting as much as you can.
Like in that situation, you weren't free falling and dying multiple times. So.
Oh yeah, for those you're not aware, fall damage, you take 2d6 for every 10 feet that you fall.
Yeah.
So yeah, it racks up quite bad depending on how you fall from. So Featherfall, super valuable. Super valuable. Grease. Another extremely underrated spell. Like, holy shit.
It falls under that realm of you gotta be creative with it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So basically you cast a 20-foot, I think it's a radius?
It's a 10-foot square. 10-foot square.
10-foot square.
And it's centered on, yeah.
Okay. So targets who enter the area or start their turn in the area have to make a dexterity saving throw or they are knocked prone.
Fall on your ass, basically.
You fall on your ass. And it becomes difficult terrain. So you have to walk slowly out of it. Your speed is halved while you're walking through it. And every time you start your turn, you have to make a dexterity saving throw or get your ass knocked over again. And you move slower also because of it. Great combination. Grease with spike growth. You turn the fucking ground into a goddamn shredder. Say enemies are running at you. Your druid has already set up his spike trap. Drop grease. The guys slip. They slide along the entirety of your spike growth. And for spike growth, I mean, we get a spike growth, but they take a metric fuck ton of damage. It's really good. You create a meat grinder, and it is nuts. Now, rules as written. You can't light grease on fire. Rules as written.
Rules as written.
But some DMs will be like, yeah, fuck it, light it on fire.
Yeah, I loved it because
exactly.
In my head, like even though it's magical grease, like you look at the components they say for it, they say a bit of pork rind or butter, right?
Yeah.
There's some, so that's why in my head I'm like, it's flammable. So I rule it like if you get creative with it, you could potentially light it on fire. Sure.
Yeah. So you have it can be area denial. Throw out grease, put down flames on it, people can't walk through.
Yeah.
So they can slip and fall and constantly take fire damage.
I think you all did grease and firebolt. That was the combination. Yeah, that was a hard-hitting firebolt you rolled. So maybe if your damage wasn't all that high, also I probably wouldn't have set it on fire.
Of course, yeah. It's one of those things. So if you're going to play a raw game, which the rules is written, then you can't light grease on fire. But grease is still valuable as a area denial, crowd control.
Oh yeah,
super good. And people who are prone on the floor have disadvantage on their dexterity checks. Throw a fireball into that. And if they're prone and they're just like if you're a warrior or monk or paladin or barbarian can reach them without getting into the grease, they have a tax advantage on those people who are on the floor. So again, super valuable. Grease is really really good. Identify is next. It's a good spell. Not good in combat unless you're a Order of the Scribes wizard. Then because Identify, like Alarm and Detect Magic, is a ritual spell. So you can get say there's a magic item or whatever the fuck. You can understand everything about the item, how it works, what it does, what are the command words if it has any, all this good stuff. this can potentially break games.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in the previous campaign with Steve, I had a scribe wizard. I instacast identify on an object while we were in the middle of a stupidly powerful fight. Like we were getting our asses beat. Our warrior got 2 shot in one round. And Steve's like, you're supposed to know everything about this thing, but I feel that's broken. And I'm like, fair. But essentially, I knew exactly what needed to be done for us to salvage the situation because I identified this specific magical object. But Steve wouldn't let me say it because it just breaks the entire fun of the situation.
Yeah.
So potentially, Identify can break games. Yeah. Identify can break games.
Knowing the full property of something is awesome in D&D because it's not all the time you're going to get the entire information on something.
Yeah, you can get a legendary item right out the gate and know exactly what it does.
Yeah.
Like, holy fucking shit. You found a deck of cards. Oh my god, that's a deck of many things.
Oh no.
Shit. It's just like one of those...
Good thing you identified it before someone pulled.
Yes, someone pulled it and then it happens, you're like, oh, fuck. And also, it's a good way for you to understand if certain items are cursed or not.
Yeah.
The last thing you want is somebody who hits like a truck to get cursed and have them turn on you because of said curse. Or they're affected by a very debilitating curse. So the last thing you want is for someone to get affected by that. Identify is always fucking useful. Artificers get it by default. Wizards can pick it up. I think knowledge domain gets Identify as well, the cleric domain. Identify is a very, very good spell. Very powerful, very useful. Use it. And if you're a scribe wizard, abuse it. So, Healing Word, Magic Missile, and Shield. Now, these things, unfortunately, are very extremely based on which subclass you choose. Initially, I started with choosing the subclass spells as well. But then I said, fuck it, let's do a general overview and the subclasses give you extra stuff. So Healing Word and Healing Word you get from being an alchemist. Magic Missile you get from being an artillerist. And Shield you gain from being an artillerist or a battlesmith. Shield is extremely valuable.
Oh yeah.
Like holy fucking shit.
If you get shield, take shield.
Yeah. If you guys don't know how it works, essentially is when an attack comes against you, you can use your reaction to pull up an arcane shield. That arcane shield increases your AC by 5 until the start of your turn. This can save your life. It's nuts. Like nothing short of a natural 20, or if the damage is higher than your shield overall AC increase, it'll hit you. But chances are shield will most likely save your fucking life. Magic Missile. Fantastic spell. I mean, it does 1d4 plus 1 damage, but it never misses.
Never misses, exactly. It's free damage again.
It's free damage again. It's a level 1. I mean, it's a level 1 cast of it. Like, and best part about Magic Missile is you shoot 3 missiles, 1d4 plus 1.
Yeah.
You could potentially do 15 damage in one turn. Max damage.
Yeah.
Pretty good. At low levels, Magic Missile is super valuable. Like say your attack rolls are garbage. At least Magic Missile will never miss unless they also have the shield spell. Because shield makes it so that Magic Missile you can't hit by it. But Magic
and you
Missile
can also
never
like
misses.
Target multiple.
Yeah, target multiple targets
each, depending on the situation.
Yeah,
you could be the kill stealer.
Yeah, that guy has some health left. Poof, you're dead. You're dead. Oh, one target, all 3 attacks. And when you upcast Magic Missile, you get to add more missiles to it. So we start at 3, and if you cast at level 2, you gain 4. If you cast at level 3, you gain 5, and so on and so forth, depending on how much you want to upcast it by. And it never misses. It's reliable force damage. Keep that in mind also. It's got force damage on it. But it's 1d4 plus 1. But it's still, again, like we mentioned before, some damage is better than no damage. Well, that's the Artificer for first levels. Let's go to Bard. Bane.
These guys, like bards have such a good selection of spells, man.
Yeah.
And as they keep leveling up, you guys will see. You guys will see.
A lot of bard magic is based off of crowd control and fucking with people. That's where they do well. So something like Bane, which also clerics get, and a few other classes also get access to as well. Bane is a great spell. At low levels, fantastic. Higher levels, not so much.
Yeah, it starts to fall off.
Yeah, it falls off late game. Yeah. But early game is valuable because essentially what Bane does is, I believe you pick 3 targets. Yeah, 3 targets.
Yes.
They need to make a charisma saving throw. If they fail, you are now concentrating on Bane. All targets that are affected by Bane take a -d4 to their attack rolls and saving throws. So chances are, Bane, a bunch of motherfuckers, have your wizard or sorcerer fireball them, and they all take a -1d4 to their saving throws, and they're less likely to hit you as well. So 1d4 actually is quite valuable. Upcasting it lets you target more creatures, but like I was saying, early game super valuable. Late game, when a target has a +10 to hit, a -d4 is not really that.
It's not going to do much.
Yeah, not really valuable for that. But Bane is still a good spell you have access to, and I recommend picking it up in early levels. Charm Person, much like Friends, great, pretty much the same thing. You get advantage on your charisma checks against these people. You can use it to gain discounts, deals, all other good stuff. But again, when the spell ends, they know they were charmed. But it's good. Command, underrated spell. Super valuable. So essentially, when you cast Command, target needs to make a Wisdom saving throw, and they obey one word action that you say. So to use an extremely stupid but amazing use of it, Critical Role Season 3. Sam's character, FTG. Sorry, FG? Wait, what?
FG.
FCG.
FG. FCG.
FCG. He used Command on a big bad guy and just said, alphabetize. So what did that guy do on his turn? He literally alphabetized his items.
Yeah.
But essentially what happens is the target wastes their turn doing what you said. You can say flee. You can say disarm. You can say kneel. You can say... but you can't make them attack somebody else, or you can't make them harm themselves.
You can't make them do something hostile.
Hostile towards their friends or themselves.
Their friends or themselves, yeah.
But you can waste a target's full turn, which is super valuable. Big bad guy, you will flee. Yeah, pick your nose. Yeah. If they fail the wisdom saving throw, they will pick their nose for their turn, and that's their turn. Yeah, that's it. It's that simple. It's very good. Command is amazing. Underrated as fuck, but super good. Comprehend languages. Now, this one out of combat, it's going to be an out of combat situation. But it's very valuable. Again, ritual spell. So essentially, any language you hear, you can understand it without a problem. Problem is though, you can't talk back in that language because you only comprehend it. You can't speak it. But say somebody's talking some shit about, like say you're in a tavern, some people are speaking a language you don't understand. Cast comprehend languages, and you can understand what's happening. You can potentially pick up valuable information regarding something. So this allows you to understand any spoken language. But then when it comes to writing, you have to touch the surface on which the writing is for you to understand the language. But you don't understand anything. Even ancient languages that are dead, you can read it.
Yeah, you just somehow know it.
Yeah, you just know it. Again, very valuable, especially if you're doing like a dungeon delving campaign or you're looking for an explorer.
Yeah.
You're an explorer or whatever. Very useful.
In one shots and all where you're just gonna straight up kill shit, don't bother about prepping this spell. Unless you know, especially if you're playing long campaigns and you have access to it and you know there are uses for it, don't hesitate to prep this. It's really good.
It's very good. It's a very good spell. Then we get Cure Wounds. Spoke about that. Healing Word, spoke about that. Detect Magic, spoke about that. Great.
Actually, we haven't done Healing Word as yet.
Did we not?
Did we? Yes, we did. We did. We did
okay.
Healing Word.
We spoke about. We didn't go into it. So Healing Word is without question one of the most broken fucking spells in the game.
I mean,
It's
if
broken.
you call this one, then what will you say when we go to level 3?
Yeah, but no. But for a level 1
but
spell,
yes, for exactly.
It's
for
broken.
Early game. So Healing Word, what it does is it. I believe it's 60-foot radius.
60-foot range. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a 60-foot range and you can heal anyone within a single target for like within that 60-foot range, and it's 1d6, I believe.
1d4.
1d4, yeah. And then as you upcast it, it keeps adding, of course, d4s to that. But trust me, like Healing Word is one of those. Oh man, it's come in clutch so many times. If you have access to it, please just
It's
take
broken.
it.
It's broken.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's broken. Mainly because if you, like, say you're barbarian 60 feet ahead, 60 feet in front of you, or your paladin or fighter or whatever, they are knocked unconscious. You can pick their asses up from 60 feet away by just going, heal, motherfucker. 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier, they get that much health back up. They could be in dire straits, they could be in the asses beat. You can just pick them up immediately and reset their failed death saves or whatever it is. So it's extremely powerful, it's extremely broken. As a DM, I fucking hate it, but as a player, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Healing Word is stupidly valuable. If you have access to it, grab the motherfucker. I've got a bard in my game who did not pick Healing Word.
Man. Who didn't? Okay, I was saying
Benji didn't pick up Healing Word.
Yo, damn.
and because he didn't have Healing Word, Epley died. They lost a character because he didn't have Healing Word.
I was going to crib up about just the stark opposite of the situation where I was the bard, the only one who had Healing Word in the entire campaign in Abyss. So I'm out there fucking healing people as a bard. I'm like, oh my god, it's not my job, but it's okay, I'll do it. I have Healing Word.
I mean, like, again, for example, like Steve's mentioned in the bard episode, if you want to be a low level bard, like a low charisma bard, Healing Word is an option. You don't get as much healing as normal, but again, you get to throw out healing. Yeah. Like if you don't have a cleric or something, Healing Word. You have a cleric, so say you have a bard and a druid, it's good to have Healing Word. It's a very, very good spell. Then we have Detect Magic. We spoke about that. Disguise Self.
Ooh, another nice spell.
It's a very good spell. So essentially, you cast a disguise upon yourself. Again, it doesn't change the way you look. It's just your outer appearance, so to speak. It's not Alter Self. Alter Self, second level, we'll get to that. But essentially, you can turn yourself into, put on a disguise of, say, you want to disguise yourself as a guard of the city, or the city watch. You can infiltrate someplace with the disguise. It's extremely valuable. It's infiltration, pretty much.
As a bard, especially, it's a nice spell to have it because you will have those. You'll have good charisma checks like deception checks and stuff. So you can get away with using this spell quite easily.
Quite good. Yeah, there you go. Dissonant Whispers. This is an extremely powerful spell. 3d6 psychic damage.
Yeah, baby.
And if they fail the saving throw, they are frightened of you and they will run away from you instantly. Run as far as they can.
I love bards. This is why I love bards. Like at low level, you have access to spells like this and it's awesome. Because here's the thing, you can't prep spells with bards.
Yeah.
Right? We can't.
You gotta pick.
Like others, we just have to take some spells and be happy with them. So if you make the right choices, you actually early game, you get set up really well with some good spells.
Yeah, some pretty good stuff.
Oh.
It's quite good. But yeah, Dissonant Whispers, super valuable. Psychic damage, not many things resist it. I mean, again, but then if they do save, they don't run away from you, but they take half damage of what you rolled.
Half damage, yeah.
So once again, some damage better than no damage. But Dissonant Whispers is super valuable because again, you can scare something away from you, and it had to use its full movement to run as far away from you as possible. So again, for a round, you are able to remove someone from the fight. which could be extremely valuable. Like say there's a super hard-hitting creature. They fail their save against your Dissonant Whispers. They've got to run away from your allies. Or from you. And just, that's what they have to do. And then they have to run back into combat to get into fights. Unless they're a caster, then in which case it doesn't matter. They have ranged options. But it's a good spell regardless. Crowd control.
It's a good spell.
Bards use crowd control very, very well.
Yeah.
I forgot to add in Cloud of Daggers. Oh no, that's second level spell. Never mind.
Second, yeah.
Then we have Verifier. We spoke about that. Featherfall. Spoke about it. Identify. Spoke about it. Silent Image. Now, this one is a little. It's good.
If it works, again, if you're creative with it, and if it works, sure.
It's super valuable.
Sure.
You could. I believe it's a 10 by 10 image you can create.
It's a 15-foot cube.
15-foot cube.
No larger than a 15-foot cube. That's the limit.
Go. Yeah, 15-foot cube, which is quite big actually.
Quite big.
You can potentially create a wall and hide behind it.
These illusion spells, all of them, you have to be creative about it.
Yeah.
Because again, the creatures or whoever you're deceiving with these illusions or whatever you're doing, like they have to make a save, and even let's say even if they succeed, if you're creative enough, the DM at least maybe will let you get away with some aspect about it, maybe. But if you're not creative, it's just gonna go. Okay, they saw something and they put their finger through it. They have no reaction.
Yeah, potentially.
What do you want to do? And then you're just like, shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, if let's say it's a cave system and it's part of a cave nobody's been to and you're being chased, you can potentially create a wall, hide behind the wall. Targets might just run past without even seeing you. Because it creates an object which can't be seen through unless they perceive it as an illusion. So, again, the concept, creativity matters a lot with illusion spells. And bards use it extremely well.
Yeah.
That's an image. Then we have sleep. Early game, fucking nuts. Late game, absolute garbage.
I'd say honestly, I mean, it's there if that's your play style.
Yeah. So essentially, how sleep works is when you cast it at level 1, you roll 5d8, and whatever number you get. So let's assume it's the maximum. Let's use 40. You do 40 on the roll. You minus the health of everyone in the area of effect. So let's say it's a bunch of goblins who have 9 health. There are 5 of them. Take off 9 from the 40, so immediately you have 31 left. 9 again, 9 again, 9 again, 9 again. So at maximum, you can put 4 goblins to sleep. And one guy will be unaffected. But the beautiful situation is, once you cast that, they fall asleep. Anyone in melee who attacks them has 1 advantage, and 2, when they hit, they crit instantly. Yeah. It's an instant crit, which could end fights. So initially, in early levels, sleep is stupid valuable. But as you level up, creatures are going to have a metric fuck ton more health. Yeah. And sleep does not scale well in the late game. Like, even if you cast it at level 9, creatures probably have even more health than that.
Yeah.
So it's not great late game. Like, even post level 6, sleep falls off super hard. Super hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even level 5 is pushing it a little bit.
But I used to have so many plans with this spell. I've had it prepped with a couple of my spellcasters, and I honestly sat there and I've not cast sleep even once in my life.
I mean, for example, this also be great against town guards.
Yes, situational.
You want to infiltrate? Sleep can be very good. Some guys doing patrols, put him to sleep and just go past him. It's almost like using the sleeper hold on somebody so you can sneak past them. So instead of getting up and close, you get to cast sleep on them. So again, it has application. I wouldn't in combat. Like I said, in combat, early games, fantastic. Late game, garbage.
Yeah.
But in terms of roleplay application, sleep is extremely valuable. It's very good. But I wouldn't say it's a must get, but it's an option to pick up. I would say.
Good option.
Then we have Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Okay, so Tasha's Hideous Laughter and Vicious Mockery are the only spells I will allow in my games to have really, really bad jokes on them. Because essentially, okay, so how Tasha's Hideous Laughter works is you send out a string of words to the enemy. They have to make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they are laughing their asses off and are knocked prone and are incapacitated. So they are, and at the end of each of their turns, they can make a save again. Each of their subsequent turns, they can make a save again to remove the effect on them. Or if someone attacks them, the effect stops.
Yeah.
But the beauty
Each time they take damage, also they make the save too.
Oh, I thought it ends. I thought it ends if it.
I don't think it ends because at the end of each of its turns and each time it takes damage, the target can make another wisdom saving throw. So, yeah,
it's incapacitated as long as it fails your saving throw against your spell save DC. But the beauty of the thing is, they're incapacitated and laughing on the ground. Again, your barbarian paladin can walk up to them, smack them with advantage, and gain crits. I mean, I don't think sorcerers get access to it. They don't, but
I don't think so. No.
If they did, twin spell
only bards and wizards get it.
Yeah, twin spell Hideous Laughter. And two.
I don't think there's any sock subclass also that gets. Right?
I don't think so. So yeah, but Tasha's Hideous Laughter is extremely valuable. I mean, at any game of play, like if you are able to make the big bad guy fucking fall on his ass laughing while the rest of you are cleaning up everything.
You won. What more do you need to do?
He's laughing his ass off. He's alone. All your melee surround him and just attack at the same time.
Yeah.
You can do a metric fuck ton of damage. Again, application. Be smart about it. And if you can, for my sake and my sake alone, come up with some really bad puns or bad jokes just to make it more interesting. It'll be funnier. Like, I will groan. I'll be like, oh, fuck. But it works for the sake of the situation.
Yeah.
It's one of the few situations where I allow you to do some really bad... I hate puns. I think puns are garbage. But if you're using Vicious Mockery or Tasha's Hideous Laughter, I will allow it. Otherwise, you will roll 1d4 psychic damage to yourself. Then we have Unseen Servant, another ritual spell, and this thing is actually really fucking valuable. Its applications are nuts. So think of this like Mage Hand but bigger. Yeah. So essentially you create a invisible creature. What you can do for fun also, you want to fuck with somebody, put a sheet over it and make it seem like a ghost. Ooh. Use Thaumaturgy. If you say you pick a class that gives you pick a race, it gives you Thaumaturgy by default. Unseen Servant, put a sheet on it and make it a spooky person. It's good.
Yeah.
You can have your Unseen Servant go trigger traps and take no damage because it's an Unseen Servant. It has no body. It's just trap goes through it, takes no damage. Trigger traps, trigger whatever you want using your Unseen Servant. It's stupidly valuable.
If you have dancing lights, put dancing lights under with it also.
Create some really freaky shit. Unseen Servant is very valuable. It's a very good spell. Not many people use it, and I know why they don't use it. Because very rarely do you get the option to. But when you get
actually,
to do it, But something like, just I want to trigger this, see if there are any traps in this place. Have your fucker walk through and trigger every single trap, and then you guys can walk through safely. Pretty useful. Like they can open chests and shit for you if you want.
Yeah.
It's quite good. But that's the first level spells for Bard. Then we have Clerics. Bane. Spoke about. Bless. Ooh. Oh my god. This spell is valuable at all times in the fucking game.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what level of gameplay you're in. If you're in tier 1 or tier 4, doesn't matter. Bless is fucking nuts. So Bless is the exact opposite of Bane. You cast it on 3 of your allies, and they get to add a d4 to their attack rolls and saving throws. A 1 increase on any of those things can be the difference between death and
that's
life.
all it takes, right?
It's nuts.
And at higher levels, at higher levels also, the beauty of it is you upcast it. You know you're going for a big fight.
More
Fuck
targets,
it, do a third level cast. Give
people.
everyone bless.
Yeah.
Go,
Bless.
my children.
Yeah. Bless is so valuable. Can turn hits into misses into hits. It can make a failed saving throw into a success.
Saving throws. That's the beauty about it, right? It gives you saving throws also, not just your attack rolls. So it's awesome.
So good. So while Bane is great for the early levels, Bless is good all the time. All the time.
Yeah. And as a cleric, you have the ability to later game not worry about prepping Bane. Just prep only Bless.
Yeah.
You
Fuck
could.
Bane.
You have that
Bless.
flexibility.
Yeah. Bless is nuts. Always have Bless. Cure Wounds we spoke about. Detect Magic we've done. Guiding. Okay. Whoever says clerics are just healers, they're dumb.
They're not. I don't say they're just healers.
Yeah. If you say, oh, I want to play a healer, I'm like, have you looked at the cleric spell list? Do you know how much fucking damage you can do
there's a
at
lot
level
of damage
1?
in there. Yeah.
I remember in Adi's game, first session, Steve, who was playing an alchemist artificer, they were doing a almost like a one-on-one fight. He got hit by a guiding bolt, which I believe does 3d10.
It's a 4d6 radiant.
4d6 radiant damage at level 1. 4d6 radiant damage. Steve's character outright died.
Yeah.
The damage that was done was twice his hit point maximum. That's a level 1 fucking spell for a cleric. It is so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. And the best part is you upcast it, it's more damage, and targets hit by guiding bolt are lit the fuck up, which means the next attack on them has advantage. Your rogue will love you. Oh, guiding clerics are so dumb. They do so much damage. Speaking of so much damage, inflict wounds.
Inflict wounds. Let's go.
Oh, melee spell attack.
Go.
3d10 necrotic damage.
Such a good spell.
Enough. That's all I need to say.
Yeah.
This thing.
That's all the spell is, guys. You just touch a person and they start taking necrotic damage. Yeah, just
3d10.
letting their blood boil with
with necrosis or corruption or whatever.
Yeah, however you want to flavor that. It's amazing. You can flavor it so well also.
Inflict wounds is nuts. Like, if you're going to be a melee cleric, and like certain classes can do that, like the Storm Cleric, the Waterbane Cleric, Grave Clerics, all these guys, Forge Clerics, you can be frontline. Hit a motherfucker with goddamn Inflict Wounds, dude. Upcast that shit. Cast level 3. That's 5d10 necrotic damage.
Yeah.
Jesus. Again, it is a 2-hit roll. You have to hit their AC. But if you hit them, you do a metric fuck ton of damage. It's dumb. Clerics, the quote-unquote healer class has the most powerful damaging spells at level 1. Nobody at level 1 can out-damage a cleric.
Yeah,
Impossible. Impossible. Nobody can do it. It's dumb. But that's cleric. That's what you're picking. Honestly, just that. Bane, initially, then Bless, Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, Sanctuary. Sanctuary is a very good spell. Because it makes you harder to hit. So what do you do? But it has a couple of drawbacks. So you cast Sanctuary on yourself as a bonus action. You gain this protection around you. Any attacks against you, the target has to make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. If they don't meet your spell save DC, the attack misses.
Yeah.
So again, you give yourself an extra level of protection. Like, this is a better shield, honestly. Because what you'll do is you'll do your you go toll the dead motherfucker, end of your turn, nobody's damaged, nobody's hurt. Okay, cool. Bonus action, Sanctuary. Until the start of your next turn, nobody can hit you without succeeding on a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
The only drawback is the moment you make an attack, Sanctuary ends. So keep that in mind when you're using it. Don't cast Sanctuary first and then attack something, because immediately Sanctuary drops. You just wasted a first level spell slot.
It's got to be the last thing you do.
Yeah. On your turn, if you have an option, Sanctuary yourself. Valuable, nuts, do it. It's great. Moving on to druids. Verifier, spoke about it. Charm person, spoke about it. Goodberry. Now this is a great spell. I nerfed the fuck out of that thing because it's kind of bullshit. So essentially what Goodberry is, you create these magical berries which heal whoever eats one of them for 1 hit point.
Yeah.
But it also fills them for the day. You no longer have to eat for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while this as a first level spell, most people will, what most people normally do is you conjure 10 good berries. That's what the spell does. Give it to somebody, they eat all 10 berries, they heal for 10 hit points. I don't like that. Because you're full of food at this point. You are full. I don't think you should be able to eat 10 of those when one will fill you up for a day. So I don't allow that personally because I think that's bullshit. You're having 10 days worth of food in one sitting. No. Sorry. I don't like that. So I nerfed the fuck out of that. But again, good berry is valuable if you want to just heal somebody really quickly. Hand them a good berry.
Yeah.
They heal for 1 hit point, they're back up if they're unconscious. This is like, put it in their mouth, make them chew it, and they get back up. So, good berry, again, it's a great option if you don't want to forage for food. You don't want to go hunting. It removes a small fun, potentially fun part of the campaign could be removed because of good berry. But, it is what it is. Healing word, spoke about it. Entangle. Fuck, this is a good spell.
It's one of my favorite CC spells.
It's so good. It's a 10-foot area, 20-foot area.
I think it's a 10-foot area. Let me just double check.
I think it's
20-foot area.
20-foot area. So essentially, you grow a bunch of vines from the ground. Doesn't matter where the fuck you are, and it grabs people. They need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Strength check. It's a strength check against your spell save DC. Yeah.
Make a strength check. And if they fail, they are restrained.
Mm-hmm.
They are stuck in place, grappled and restrained. Which means any attack they make, disadvantage. Any attack you or your allies make against them, advantage.
And that ground is difficult terrain while that's all there. While all those vines are there, that's difficult terrain.
Yep. Entangle is a very, very good spell. It's good CC, it's good control.
DMs.
Oh yeah. Entangle is extremely valuable. It's very good. But yeah, that's pretty much as a druid, that's more than enough, honestly.
Yeah.
Then detect magic cure wounds. Again, up to you to pick what you want. Eldritch Knights, you are picking up shield. End of story. You already have heavy armor. You probably have an 18 AC.
You'll become
even tankier.
So annoying.
Yeah, so 23 AC on a reaction.
Yeah, jeez.
You'll be hard to hit.
Yo.
Simple, straightforward, great. Love it.
Thunder Wave also is good. Thunder Wave is good.
Thunder Wave is an option. I mean, I'd rather just keep my spells for shield. My spell slots for shield, personally. Yeah. But Thunder Wave, if you want to do some damage, go for it. But then again, if you're trying to sneak somewhere, Thunder Wave could potentially blow your cover. So, probably not a good idea. Then we move to Paladins. So Paladins only get their spellcasting at level 2. At level 1, you don't get jack. You have to be level 2 to become a spellcaster for Paladins. So the spells that both Con and I agreed upon were Command, Cure Wounds. Could be good. Again, we spoke about Command, could be fun. Then we have Shield of Faith, which also clerics can pick up if they want.
Yes.
So essentially, it's a concentration spell. And as you're concentrating, whoever you cast it on, whether it's an ally or yourself, their AC goes up by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a cleric, cast this on your Eldritch Knight who has shield, they have a 25 AC. It's kind of dumb, but you can do it. And then you have the smites, Searing, Thunderous, and Wrathful.
Here we go.
So as a paladin, what you're going to be spending your spell slots on are 1, your Divine Smites, or your Thunderous Smite, Wrathful Smite, or Searing Smite, or other smites that you get as you level up. They all do flavors of damage. Searing does fire damage. Thunderous does thunder damage, and Wrathful, I believe, makes them scared of you. If I'm not mistaken. If you hit them, they are now scared of you.
Wrathful? Let me just double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are frightened of you.
They're scared of you. And Fear is a very powerful CC tool. Do not ignore that. Well, that's pretty much level 1s for that. Rangers, you gain Alarm, Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Good Bearing. All nice. Hunter's Mark. Concentration spell. But bread and butter of any ranger. If you're not using Hunter's Mark, you are trolling. Essentially, what Hunter's Mark is, you pick a target, mark them. No saving throw required. Like you are now Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
Every attack you make against them, you and you alone, you get to add an extra 1d6 of damage on top of that. As long as you're maintaining concentration. So as a say a Gloomstalker Ranger. Bonus action, Hunter's Mark. 3 attacks on that guy. Make your 3 attack rolls and add a d6 for each.
Crazy amounts of damage.
Rangers throw so much damage downfield, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially
And this is what
Gloomstalkers.
really adds to Rangers' damage potential. Hunter's Mark is a big chunk of that damage.
Yeah. Then we've got Searing Strike, we already spoke about. And then Zephyr Strike, which is fucking nuts. So, how Zephyr Strike works is, bonus action, cast it on yourself. Your speed is now doubled. You are now immune to,
Opportunity attacks.
Attacks of opportunity.
Yeah.
And once on your turn, you can use Zephyr Strike to give yourself advantage on an attack roll. And if you hit with that attack, it does an extra 1d8 of force damage. So as a Gloomstalker Ranger, your Dread Ambusher shot does your bow's attack plus an extra 1d8 of damage. If you Zephyr Strike your Dread Ambusher, you do your bow's damage plus 2d8 of damage with advantage. On a Gloomstalker's first turn, you fucking do so much damage. And on top of that, if you have Sharpshooter, even better. It's nuts.
It gets quite nutty. It gets quite nutty.
So honestly, as a ranger, early levels, you're doing Hunter's Mark and you're doing Zephyr Strike. Nothing else. You're spending spells on nothing else. It's fucking ridiculous. It's great. But that's the ranger. Doesn't matter what subclass you are, this is what you're going to build. Trust me. You're going to be using Hunter's Mark and Zephyr Strike. That's it. Trust me on that. Then we have the Arcane Trickster. Now, Arcane Tricksters are strange because they only have access to the Wizard spell list, but they can only pick up enchantment or illusion spells.
Illusion. Yeah.
That's the only limitation that they have. So, what you're going to pick up as Arcane Trickster is Hideous Laughter, Silent Image, Charm Person. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Spoke about those, you know how they work. Simple as that. Sorcerers. Chromatic Orb.
Let's go.
3d8 of any chosen damage type.
Oof. And as a sorcerer, the way you abuse this fucking spell, my god.
Yeah. It's a very good first level spell. Anyone who, if you pick up Witch Bolt, slap yourself because you're a dumbass. Chromatic Orb. Again, Chromatic Orb is a 2-hit spell. But when you hit, you can roll whatever damage type you want. You want to roll fire? You want to roll acid? You want to roll thunder? You want to roll lightning? You want to roll cold? You can do it. Like say the fucker is immune to fire. Hit them with thunder or cold. It's so versatile in how you use it. It's great. You can twin cast Chromatic Orb.
Yeah.
Make one fire, and make one lightning.
Yeah. And Chromatic Orb does have a cost to it, right?
Yeah, the only cost is you need to have... The only limitation to it is that you need a diamond on your person with 50 gold pieces. But again, the diamond is not consumed. Yeah, very easy to get.
Yeah.
50 gold is not much, honestly.
Yeah.
But you have to have that diamond on your person, else you can't cast the spell. That's only limitation. And then once again, you have Featherfall, Mage Armor. Ooh, Mage Armor. Mage Armor is
here we go.
Very good. So what Mage Armor does is it makes your AC at base to 13 plus your dexterity modifier.
It's one of those OP spells that just silently stays OP
It's very good.
in the 5e realm. It's crazy, dude, when you think about it.
Yeah, if you don't have armor, which
For the
sorcerers don't
duration,
have,
yeah, it's
for 8 hours, your AC is 13 plus your dexterity modifier. So let's say you have a +5 dexterity. For some god knows reason, you roll beautifully well, and you have very high dexterity, so you have a +5. Your AC will always be 18 for the duration of 8 hours.
crazy.
As a caster, having an 18 AC without anything else is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I just do it. Fucking do it. You don't have to wear armor. In fact, you can't wear... But the best part about this is also, it stacks with a shield, as in a physical shield.
Yeah.
If you can hold a shield, you have a 20 AC with a +5 dexterity. As a caster. It's nuts.
Ayo.
But yeah, that's mage armor. Then of course, magic missile, shield. Obvious picks you want to do, and mess around with whatever the fuck you want. Warlocks. Armor of Agathis. Good spell. Cast it on yourself. You gain 5 temporary hit points.
5 temp, yeah.
And if anyone hits you if anyone hits you in melee, while this is active, you lose the temporary hit points. But whatever you lost, that 5 damage will go back to the person who hit you for 5 cold damage. So it's a good way for them to hit you and get hurt by you without you having to do anything.
Yeah.
And it's
those hit points
it's
scale
extra...
when you cast them higher.
Exactly.
So.
The higher you cast the spell, the better the shielding you get.
I mean, as a warlock, you're going to be upcasting most of the time, so that just naturally keeps increasing for you.
Yeah.
Just
super
keep
valuable.
it that way.
Super valuable. It's very, very good. Cause fear. Fantastic. Again, I keep mentioning fear is a fantastic CC tool. Upcast it, you can target more creatures. Make them afraid of you. You stand up front and personal. If you're, say, you're a Hexblade Warlock, nothing can get past you. If they want to get to your backline, they got to go through you. And if they can't go through you, they are stuck.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Fear is one of those crazy things. Like the target will want to get to one of your other allies. But if they're behind you, that target is screwed. He doesn't know which way to go.
Yeah. They can't
I want to go there, but damn it, you're there.
Yeah. You're scared of me. You can't come closer, bitch. Get fucked. And the best part is when they're feared and they're scared of you, their attacks against you have disadvantage.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Fantastic. Then Charm Person, spoke about that. Hellish Rebuke. Reaction spell.
Nice one.
It's very, very good. So essentially when someone attacks you, you can, as a reaction, use Hellish Rebuke to do damage back to them. So imagine Armor of Agathis, already up and running. Stack that with Hellish Rebuke. You can do quite a bit of damage on when it's not your turn.
2d10 fire damage.
Yeah, pretty good. And they have to make a dexterity saving throw to avoid the damage. Or they take half, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they take half damage. 2d10 fire damage, that's still valuable. Pretty valuable. Really good. And then, of course, the bread and butter spell of the Warlock, Hex.
Hex.
When you cast Hex as a bonus action on a target, no saving throw required. You cast it on them. You get to pick an ability score, and they have disadvantage on checks of that ability score. So say you're up against a fighter or something, or even whatever. You have one of your people have Fireball. Actually, it doesn't affect saving throws. Sorry, my bad. Only ability checks. But that's, again, you can pick whatever you want. But then you have Eldritch Blast. If you're level 5, you're hitting the target twice. Hex does 1d6 extra damage. Think of it like Hunter's Mark for Rangers is what Hex is to Warlocks.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing, and it's really, really good. Just constant 1d6 of damage. Every time you alone hit the enemy.
Yeah.
Very good.
I mean, ideally, that's your action economy as a Warlock. Bonus action, Hex. Okay.
Action,
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. And just see their health pool disappear. It's great.
Yeah.
Unseen Servant we spoke about already. Wizards. Chromatic Orb, spoke about it. Magic Missile, spoke about it. Shield, spoke about it. Mage Armor, spoke about it. Find
Find
Familiar.
familiar.
Find Familiar is, without question, one of the most powerful spells in the game. Having a familiar is ridiculous because your familiar can give you advantage on things, attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws, potentially, depending on how your DM
Can aid your party members also. Yeah.
Yeah, you can give your party members help with things, give them advantage. You can cast touch spells through Find Familiar. So, say you want to use Vampiric Touch or you want to use Bestow Curse, use it through your familiar. Familiar, go cast that shit. It's good. It's good.
Yep.
Familiar is amazing. Gift of Alacrity. Now, this was introduced in the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. Essentially, is you choose a number of targets. I mean, you choose one target, and they get an add a D8 to their initiative rolls, which is super valuable. Like, say for whatever goddamn reason, your barbarian has a low dexterity, and you want him to go first in combat so he can rage quicker and not get his ass beat before it's his turn. Throw on Gift of Alacrity on him. Lasts for 8 hours, and every time he rolls initiative, he gets to add an extra D8 to his initiative roll. Therefore, more likely to go higher up the turn so he can rage sooner and start tanking damage and doing damage.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. This is going to be a long episode, by the way. We're at 2 hours and we just hit level 1 spells. We might pick this up into two episodes, we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's first level spells for wizards. And then Identify, always valuable. Pick that up if you can. Moving on to second level spells. We have, for Artificers, Aid. This spell is dumb.
What a spell, man. What a spell.
So you choose 3 targets. Plenty targets, obviously. And when you cast a spell, their hit point maximum increases by 5. Put this on your front line. And here's the best part about Aid. It stacks.
Yeah.
So you can cast Aid 3 times and it stacks to 15.
Or let's say someone else in your party also has it. Both of you all could cast it once each and
Yeah.
you already have
Plus
a double
10.
stack there.
Everyone is plus 10. I mean, not everyone. 3 targets.
3. Yeah.
It's great. Use it. Abuse it. It's so good. Make your barbarian even tankier. He already has a fucking massive health pool. Give him even more. Say you have your other caster has low health. Buff up their health so they're more likely to survive hits.
Yeah.
It's great. Aid. If you get it, grab it, use it. If you're a fucking clockwork sorcerer, you gain this. Take extended spell. You can increase that duration to 16 hours. So 16 hours, that person has a plus 5 to the HP permanently.
Quite crazy.
It's good. Then we have Alter Self. This is more a roleplay tool.
Yeah.
It has damage application, but it's more for roleplay. So Alter Self lets you change yourself into any race you want. So say you are a 7-foot tall Goliath. Use Alter Self, turn into a 3-foot gnome. Great for infiltration, great for blending in. And one of the options they also give you is you can give yourself gills, so you can breathe underwater for an hour.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Or
cool.
you can give yourself massive claws to make attacks if you want. The only thing though is Alter Self does not give you the characteristics of the race you're turning into. It doesn't. So say for example,
Just a magical shell for you.
Exactly. You just look like the person. You don't get that. For example, if you turn into an Aarakocra, which are eagle people, they wouldn't fly. You can't fly. You don't get the ability to fly.
Yeah.
It's just look like an Aarakocra. That's pretty much it. It allows you to change your entire appearance from one race to another. Valuable and very good.
But yeah, that still doesn't limit its uses. You can be really creative with this
Super
one.
creative with this one, yeah. Alter Self and Disguise Self. Put it together. Have fun. You can create some really cool shit. Enhance Ability. This is very good. So essentially what you do is you cast it on whoever, yourself or somebody else. For the duration of the spell, it's concentration. Is it concentration? No. It's an hour.
No, it's not concentration.
Oh, so it lasts for an hour.
Sorry, it is concentration.
Oh, it is
and lasts
concentration?
for an hour.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So concentration. So it lasts until you either lose concentration or until the duration, which is 1 hour, finishes. You get to pick an ability score, and whoever you cast this on, you or your ally, they have advantage on all checks related to that ability score. And you have to specify what you're casting on them. It's the Eagle Splendor, Bears, whatever the fuck they called it. Wisdom of the Owl or something like that.
There's Eagle Splendor, where the targets have advantage on charisma checks. There's Fox Cunning, target has advantage on intelligence checks. Owl's Wisdom, where the target has advantage on wisdom checks. Cat's Grace, target has an advantage on dexterity checks, and it also doesn't take damage from falling 20 feet or less if it isn't incapacitated.
Yeah.
And then there's Bull Strength, where the target has advantage on strength checks, and his or her carrying capacity doubles. And last one is Bez Endurance.
Yeah,
the target has advantage on constitution checks, and you gain 2d6 temp hit points. Yeah.
So, enhanceability. Very useful. Depending on the situation you're in.
Quite useful.
Yeah.
Quite, this one, Zahn used it very well in our Sands game, I remember, in one combat situation. It was amazing. Because, remember I was telling you about those creatures that had a certain type of gaze. So he cast enhanced ability to give advantage on those checks.
Yeah.
And that just turned the combat, man. It is insane.
It's very good. Like
I think he earned inspiration for the way he used it also in a clutch moment with that.
Nice. Like I used it in a way where dwarves are not inherently charismatic. So we had an NPC with us who had to talk a way for us to get into a slave town without getting enslaved. So I used Eagle Splendor to give him advantage on his charisma checks because he has a -2 in charisma.
Very good.
So it saved us from potentially getting our asses beat right at the gate. So enhanceability, fantastic. Enlarge, reduce. This is underrated as fuck. So essentially, you can either choose to enlarge your ally or an object, or reduce an enemy or an object.
Yeah.
It's concentration. Essentially, it reduces the target size. If you use enlarge, the target goes up by 1 size class. So if you're a medium creature, you become a large creature. If you're a large creature, you become a huge creature, and so on and so forth. You go up by 1 size class. If you're enlarged, you have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws, and you get to add a extra 1d4 of damage on top of your attacks. So put this on your barbarian, make him even scarier, or your paladin, or your fighter. Reduce a scary motherfucker to something smaller. Or, in my case, in my party, what happened in my game, giant boulder that spans the entire fucking corridor, reduce it. And they were easily able to get out of the way of it. Problem is they triggered it 3 times, so they wasted 3 spell slots. But still, it's super valuable. It's very good. It can be moments of, like, say, there's a tiny little corridor that you can't fit into. Reduce yourself, go through. It gives infiltration options, it gives damage options, it gives all sorts of different things you can do. It's very good. It's a very, very good spell.
Dude, we skipped over Blur.
Oh fuck, we missed Blur. Shit. Yeah. Blur.
Let's go.
You cast Blur on yourself. You become a Blur. It's concentration. But it basically attacks against you have disadvantage. That's pretty much it. You move so fast. Like, think you're vibrating the speed of Flash when he's standing still. That you can't be hit. You're harder to hit. But Blur is good. Blur is a valuable spell. Heat Metal. This spell is broken. It's broken.
If used in a smart way,
it's broken.
Can be quite broken.
Yeah. So essentially, what you do is you create a piece of metal on somebody into molten hot. It's basically molten hot. They have to make a Constitution saving throw on their turn, or they have to drop what they're holding. Want to break it further? Cast it on their armor. Heavy armor, for those of you unaware, takes 10 minutes to remove. 10 rounds in combat is a minute. 100 rounds to remove a piece of armor. So they make the con save. They can't take it off. They take fire damage, and their attacks have disadvantage.
Yeah.
And they're
It's
taking
quite
constant. So every time on your turn, bonus action, take damage. It's free damage. Free damage.
It racks up. Yeah.
It just fuck my life. It's so good. Abuse it. Invisibility. Do I need to say anything about this? No. You are fucking invisible. You are invisible for an hour until you cast a spell or make an attack.
Or attack or something.
Simple as that. See invisibility. Exactly what it says. Simple. Web. Great spell. It's good to catch people and keep them restrained or caught somewhere. You can light the web on fire and make them take more damage. Web is good. Mirror image. Easily one of the best defensive spells in the fucking game. You cast out 3 clones of yourself. If anyone tries to attack you, roll on a d20. I believe it's 4, 8, and 11.
So you must roll. So you roll an 8 or higher.
Okay. So if you roll an 8 or higher on the first roll, the attack misses you, hits a clone.
Yeah. Sorry, the first one is 6 or higher.
Or 6 or higher.
Then it's 8 or higher, and then 11 or higher. Yeah.
So when someone's making an attack against you, roll a d20. If it's above 6, they destroy your clone. 1 clone down, you take no damage. They attack you again, roll it again. Roll 8 and above, another clone gets destroyed, you take no damage. And then of course 11 and above, they attack your clone and not you. I avoided a crit from a totem barbarian reckless thanks to my mirror image.
Clutch, dude. This spell.
So far, I was shitting myself because that guy would have knocked me on my ass in 1 turn.
The amount of times I've seen Bala use this and just praying that it hits this thing is too funny, dude.
Mirror image, shield, and mage armor. This combination makes you near unhittable.
Yeah.
It's fucking bonkers. If you get access to this, grab it. Scorching Ray. 3 bolts of fire, which are 2 hit rolls, 2 to 2. 3 different targets, 1 target, 2 guys and 1 person, whatever. Up to you.
Yeah.
3 fire attacks. And it's great. It's good damage. It's constant, serious amount of... I think it's 2d6 per hit.
2d6, yes.
Yeah. So 2d6, 3 times. Go for it. Enjoy yourself. Bards, they get aid. Already spoke about that. Cloud of Daggers. This is actually fucking nuts.
Ooh.
Non-concentration. You cast
this
spell.
one can cause a lot of problems.
It can cause problems, yeah. Sorry, it's a concentration spell.
Concentration, yeah.
It's a 5-foot cube with a 10-foot radius of damage, right?
It's a 5-foot cube on each side, centered around you.
Yeah, so 10 feet around it,
so,
you get slashed up.
Yeah.
So on your turn, you cast the spell. Whoever's in the area takes, I believe it's 4d4 damage?
It's 4d4.
4d4. Here's a combination for you. Throw grease and throw Cloud of Daggers into the middle of it. They are slipping and falling and taking constant meat grinder damage. You can't move Cloud of Daggers. But as long as the target is in it, they are getting cut the fuck up. 44 every turn at the start of their turn. At top of your turn, damage! As long as you are in the area, you take it. You enter it for the first time or start your turn in it, you take 4d4 slashing damage.
It's ridiculous.
It's really good. If you can manage to keep somebody stuck in that shit, that damage racks up insanely amount. Oh my god. Yeah. No saving throw, it's free damage. Fucking just go. Then we have Detect Thoughts. This could be fun. More roleplay than it is in combat.
Yeah.
But essentially, you send your mind out, you can detect surface thoughts of whoever is around you. I believe the radius is 60 feet or 30-foot radius.
It's about 30 feet.
30-foot radius, yeah. So 30 feet around you, you can sense thoughts on everybody around you.
You can dig in deeper also.
Exactly. You can attempt to dig in deeper, at which point the person you're digging deeper into needs to make a wisdom saving throw, or you can see their surface level thoughts, like their deep thoughts. So this could be useful when you're negotiating with somebody about prices, or you're looking for someone who's a bad person.
Yeah.
Your interrogations, you can just delve deeper into their minds and brains and understand what they're up to. Pretty good. It's a good spell. Wouldn't use it in combat though. but potentially
Yeah.
could be good. Like you might know what the boss is going to do next.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's creative. Creative uses could be good.
I used it once to find out if a bunch of guys were being trying to be shady with us or not. It was
Exactly.
quite useful.
Quite good. That's detect thoughts. Enhanceability we spoke about. Enlarge reduce. Yep. Heat metal. Yep. Knock. Now
This is a nice one.
it seems silly. I mean,
But
it's.
dude,
it
comes in handy. I mean,
it comes in handy, but the problem is it's a second level spell though.
yeah, true.
It's little expensive.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, but what it does is, you use a spell, knock on a door that's locked, it opens.
Yeah.
Knock on a chest that's locked, it opens. It's pretty much like a fucking skeleton key. Knock is great. I don't think it affects arcane lock though. But any normally locked door, chest, whatever, opens. It's immediately unlocked.
That contains a mundane or magical means that prevents access. Yeah, it can.
Oh, it breaks arcane
It
lock.
can.
There you go.
Because that's what it says. So the object can be a door, a box, a chest, a set of manacles, a padlock, or another object that contains a mundane or magical means that prevents access.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Something's magically
No,
locked.
that's why I remember
knock.
loving this spell because I was like, it sounds so silly, but it's
Yeah.
actually fucking ridiculous. You can just break open a wizard's mansion if he had some lock,
Yeah, it's
magic lock.
knock,
on it.
knock. Hello.
Hello. But here's the thing though, it does make a noise.
Hmm.
As far as 30 feet, 300 feet away from whatever the target object was.
Yeah.
It makes
So-
a loud knock.
Yeah. So clear the dungeon, then go knock. If you're trying to be sneaky, then knock is just no good.
Yeah.
But
But it's one of those situations. If you know you're
quite
going to visit something where you know, whatever it takes to get through, there you go.
yeah, it's very good. It's a good one. Lesser Restoration. It is a underrated and actually not underrated. It's a fantastic spell.
It's
Use
a
it.
fantastic spell.
Use
yeah.
it. Essentially, you get to cleanse somebody of disease, poison, paralysis, stun. What else?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
I believe those are it. Blind and deafened.
Blind and deafness. So if someone's fucked up, they got poison. They are poisoned, which means they have disadvantage on attack rolls. Slap them with Lesser Restoration, and they are no longer poisoned.
Yeah.
It's a great way to avoid getting into a situation which you're not comfortable with. But Lesser Restoration, always have it prepared. Clerics get it, druids get it, fucking paladins get it. Just use it, have fun. What else do we have? Mirror Image, what I spoke about. See
Mirror
Invisibility,
image, yeah.
spoke about that. Shatter.
Ooh.
Shatter
This is a big
is fucking nuts. It's a 20-foot cube?
10 foot.
10
10
foot
foot
cube.
radius.
10-foot cube. And that area gets smashed with thunder damage. Targets need to make a Constitution saving throw, I believe.
It's a constitution saving.
Yeah, so con save or take the damage and get thrown 10 feet, I believe, as well.
Yes.
It's
fucking
yeah.
nuts.
Shatter's a fantastic second level spell. It does so much damage. Problem though, it's a fucking loud ass noise, so people can hear you for 600 feet away. But
Yeah.
it does damage and displacement, as we spoke about, which is fantastic. Shatter's great.
Oh, sorry, it does not displace.
Oh, it doesn't
the
displace?
target. It
Oh,
doesn't.
they just get destroyed
Yeah.
with damage.
Just
Okay.
get destroyed. 3d8 is still solid.
Yeah, still chunky amount of damage.
Yeah.
Then Suggestion. This spell is
Ooh.
nuts. Utter a bunch of words to a guy, and if they fail a saving throw, which is a wisdom, I believe it's a wisdom saving throw, they will obey your command for the next 8 hours. We were in the middle of a fight on Khan's campaign. I saw the big boss guy of the fight. I'm like, you. He's like, yes, sir. You will walk for the next 8 hours until your feet bleed. He's like, okay, sir. And he just left. Left the fight. He just walked away. He's still walking, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he walked quite a bit, that guy. Feel
Yeah.
bad for him, honestly.
So, Suggestion, the only caveat to it is that you can't make a person hurt themselves and you can't make them walk into into what they perceive as danger.
Mm.
There are combinations to break this. There's a loophole to make suggestion extremely powerful, but they will not do any damage to themselves. And suggestion lasts until that person completes their task after 8 hours, or they get hit before that. If they take damage before suggestion ends, suggestion ends. So what you can do is just say, you run away, or you go to sleep, and they will immediately do what you're told, or as they're told. It's great. Suggestion is fantastic. It's underrated and very powerful spell. Do it. Moving on to clerics. Aid, spoke about it. Answerability, spoke about it. Hold person, fuck my life. Great spell.
Ooh. Yeah.
If you are up against humanoid creatures, you can cast hold person on that person, wisdom saving throw. That person is now fucking paralyzed if they fail. And they can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of their turns, I believe.
I believe it's end of their turns. Let me just double check that.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that's how that works.
Yeah. So. Yeah. On the end of each of its turns.
Yeah. So while they are in hold person, they are paralyzed, which means attacks against them have advantage. If you're in melee, you auto crit. Hold person is great. Remember, hold person is not the same as hold monster. There's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
You only hold humanoids, not creatures. Keep that in mind. That's the only limitation to it. If you're up against like Dragonborn or gnomes or orcs or whatever, great. Hold person will work, no problem. Up against a giant, not gonna work. But yeah, hold person, fantastic spell. Always have that. That's restoration. Spoke about it. Spiritual weapon. I spelled that wrong in the sheet, but spiritual weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Non-concentration, bonus action spell. Create a weapon or something or an object that's made of spectral energy. It hits people on your bonus action and does 1d8 of force damage.
Yeah.
It can be upcasted, but only in increments of 2 levels. If you cast it at 3rd level, it's 2d8. Cast it at 4th level, it still says 2d8. But if you cast it at 5th level, it becomes 3d8. But it is non-concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And you can move it as a bonus action. You can move it and make an attack on your turn. But you can only move 20 feet. 20 feet. But it is...
But it's a brilliant spell, man. As a cleric, I mean, this is a bread and butter spell for clerics.
It's so good. Especially because it doesn't require concentration. Because clerics actually have a lot of concentration spells.
Yeah.
So you're either concentrating on Bless, or you're concentrating on fucking Spirit Guardians, or something else. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So having a good option for damage, which doesn't require concentration, is stupidly valuable. A spiritual weapon must have. Every cleric. If you don't have this, you're a dumbass. Fuck you. Fuck you. Use it. Then we move to druids. Bark skin. Make your AC 16. Yeah. Flat 16. Bark skin. 8 hours. Like mage armor, use it. You have a 16 AC. It's great. Flame blade. You conjure a flame out of you conjure a sword made of fire, and you smack a motherfucker for damage. Simple, straightforward. Whole person, spoke about that. A heat metal, spoke about restoration. Yep. Moonbeam. A signature druid spell.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. 90-foot range or 60-foot range?
The range is 120 feet.
120 feet. So you can cast 120 feet away from you. A fucking pillar of light from the moon shoots down in a 10-foot radius, I believe.
Yes, sir. It's a 5-foot radius and it's a 40-foot high cylinder.
Yeah, 45 cylinder. Constant damage. As long as targets are in that, they have to make a Constitution saving throw or take the full damage of Moonbeam. If they are a shapeshifter, like say a werewolf or something like that, they instantly drop back to their normal forms.
Yeah.
This is a great way to stop a werewolf from biting your fucking face off.
I mean, it's 2d10 radiant damage also at base level.
Yeah.
Base level.
And the best part is if they're shapeshifters. And if they're shapeshifters, they make the save at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
And just like
and
spiritual
also,
weapon, you can move this around.
you can move it 60 feet as a bonus
60
action.
feet?
Is it action
Yeah.
or bonus action?
It's an action to move.
It's an action, yeah. So you can move it 60
Because
feet.
the moment you move it, you can instantly do the damage. Right?
Yeah, you can move it across a line of people.
I'll be like,
do
oh,
2d10,
oopsie.
2d10, 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 2d10,
Just irritate
2d10,
your
2d10.
DM. Just annoy him. Just take that moonbeam token or whatever you're using and just be, oh, sorry. It's in between two of
Yeah,
them.
it's basically
How sad.
it's basically a particle cannon. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
It's quite good. Moonbeam is a very good spell. And the best part is you're working Wild Shape, right? Wild Shape,
Yeah,
concentrate on Moonbeam and just burn people.
and just move that shit around with you. That's it.
Yeah, it's great.
Flank with your moonbeam.
It's awesome. Then we have Pass Without Trace. This you're going to be using more in terms of exploration and sneaking around. Essentially, what it does is you cast it 30-foot radius around you. All allies have a +10 to their stealth rolls. I cannot tell you how valuable this can be
Super.
because say you have disadvantage because of heavy armor. You can add a +10 to your score. It's better than rolling a 2. We roll 12 instead. At low levels, most creatures don't have a very high passive perception. You can sneak by. But +10 to something is always extremely
plus
valuable.
10, like even if your party, all of y'all are good at stealth, even then if you have the ability to do Pass Without Trace, up that stealth too.
Yeah, do it.
Fuck.
Free
Do
+10.
a 27 on your stealth.
Yeah.
for
Disappear.
it.
Yeah. Fucking rogues. Roll 40. Go for it.
Yeah.
Pass Without Trace is actually, it's a very valuable spell. It's good to have.
Yeah.
Spike Growth. This is nuts. I mentioned that combo I mentioned, Grease with Spike Growth.
Yeah.
You cast a spell, and if your enemies don't see you cast the spell, it creates you spikes in the ground. Every time they walk over it, for every 5 feet, they take 2d4 piercing damage.
Yeah.
And they have to make a perception check against your spell save DC to perceive that they can see the spikes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, match that up with Grease, and they are fucked. It's a meat grinder of damage. Say they're running, you hit Grease, they slip and slide across the Grease, they slide 10 feet across. For every 5 feet, it's 2d4. They just went 10 feet.
Yeah.
That's
20 d4.
20. Yeah,
Jeez.
it's dumb. You can instantly kill people with this. Good combination. Use it, abuse it, have fun. Summon Beast, summoning spells, which were now introduced into Tasha's.
Yeah.
You can now summon a beast. Summon a bear and become a bear. Have fun. Go. Two bears kicking ass. Yeah, simple, straightforward. Eldritch Knights, Shatter. But I just pick shield. I just use shield instead. But yeah, Shadow's an option.
Yeah.
Paladins, Aid. Go for it. Branding Smite. Good fun. Find Steed is actually kind of cool.
It's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
Genzan he's got his steed.
I
He
thought it was
fucking
dumb.
summoned this war goat.
Yeah.
It's amazing. If you're creative with it, it's awesome.
Yeah. Like initially I thought it was dumb. But then reading it over, it's basically you get a horse as a familiar.
Yeah.
And it can fucking hoof somebody. You can trample people. You can climb on it and ride it. Give you more speed. It's great. And then less restoration, of course.
Yeah.
Rangers, they have aid. They have box skin.
Yeah, they get aid as well. It's
They
awesome.
have less restoration. They have pass without a trace, spike growth, and
Spike
summon
growth and
beast.
Summon beast.
You want to be
Awesome.
a Beastmaster Ranger?
Awesome.
Throw another summon in there.
Yeah.
Summon another
Yeah.
beast together. So you have two beasts doing shit. It's great. Arcane Tricksters, invisibility. Obviously, you're a rogue. Gonna become invisible.
Yeah.
Mirror image. Make yourself
Mirror
harder to
image
hit.
is good.
Yeah. Rogues as it is get hard to hit. Make yourself even harder to hit. Again, suggestion. Fantastic. We already spoke about that. Tasha's Mind Whip. For a second level spell, this thing is fucking nuts. So, cast a spell. You do damage, psychic damage. If they fail a saving throw, if they succeed the saving throw, they take half damage and no other effects. If they fail it, however, on the enemy's turn, they can either move or bonus action, or attack. That's all they can do. One of those three things can happen. And they have no reactions. Tasha's Mind Whip is a great way to shut down people who you're terrified of. It's fucking disgusting.
It's quite awesome.
It's great. It's so good. Yeah, Tasha's Mind Whip. Pick it up. Sorcerers get it, and wizards get it, and arcane tricksters get it, obviously, because wizard spell list. Use it. Fucking go crazy. Have fun. Sorcerers, Blur, spoke about it. Dragon's Breath. This is interesting. It's a touch spell, but essentially you are able to exude a 15-foot cone of any chromatic dragon's breath. So fire, lightning, thunder, poison, acid.
Pretty neat.
Pretty good. Put this on your familiar. Your familiar can go flying and breathe fire. It's great. Enhanced ability we spoke of. Enlarged reduce we spoke of. Hold person is fantastic on sorcerers because twin cast, hold person, paralyze 2 people. Great.
Yeah.
Invisibility. Obvious. Mind Spike. Now this is one I haven't seen much use of, and I don't remember how it works exactly. But I remember it being a very powerful spell. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Mind Spike. Phantasmal Force. This has some fun applications. So you cast a spell. They have to make an intelligence saving throw. If they fail, they perceive whatever you want them to perceive. Like there's a staircase.
This one again can be quite brutal if you're very creative with it.
Yeah, you can use this in conjunction with
Not man.
Suggestion.
I'm just
with
still
suggestion.
thinking about that incident, the way she just made that sailor who was on the crow's nest think he was on fire and he just jumped off.
Yeah.
Motherfucker broke his arm.
You can make somebody jump to their death with this.
Yeah.
So essentially how it works is they perceive, so intelligence check, they have to make a save. They're under the effect of the spell. Now, they can make an investigation check against your spell save DC to understand what they are seeing is not real.
Yeah.
But as long as they are under the effect, you can constantly do 1d6 damage to them all the time. And being creative, you can say, you are now on fire. Or potentially, there's a bridge over this gap. We can walk over this. They walk to their deaths. They fall and kill themselves. Phantasmal Force is very powerful.
Very powerful. If again, be creative with it. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, Phantasmal Force and Suggestion at the same time to create some fucking broken amount of shit.
Stack those at your... Oh god.
Yeah. Then you have See Invisibility, obvious. Shatter, spoke about. Suggestion, spoke about. Web, spoke about. Tasha's Mind Whip, twin cast that shit. Have fun.
Sorcerers, goddammit.
Yeah. Warlocks, Cloud of Daggers, spoke about it. Darkness. Darkness is a spell that is extremely potent but can also be a problem.
Can backfire, yeah.
It can backfire really badly to you. So essentially what you do is you create a 20-foot radius of...
The 15-foot.
15-foot radius of pitch black magical darkness which no one can see into or out of. Unless you're smart and you've picked up the Eldritch Invocation Devil's Sight, in which case only you can see in and out of it. Which means if nobody can see you and you're attacking, all your attacks have advantage. Hex a motherfucker. Actually, wait, Hex is not concentration, is it? No, it's not. Wait, is it concentration?
It's not. I don't think it's concentration.
I hope not. Either way, Darkness is a concentration spell. You can stand in your own darkness with Devil's Sight, fire Eldritch Blast at advantage because nobody knows where the fuck it's coming from. It's really good. If your whole party has darkness, it has Devil's Sight.
Hex is concentration.
Hex is concentration, so there you go, yeah. So it's one of those toss-ups. So essentially, if your entire party has Devil's Sight, like everyone's picked up Eldritch Adept and picked up Devil's Sight as an invocation, cast Darkness on your entire party and fight in the darkness. When nobody can see you, all their attacks are disadvantage, and everyone, you attack them, you have advantage. It's great. But it's extremely dependent on who has Devil's Sight and who doesn't. So Darkness has applications, but be careful, because it can backfire. And I've seen it backfire way too many times. Flock of Familiars. Now this one, it's a spell from a specific adventure. I believe it's Acquisitions Incorporated. If you don't have this book, then you won't have access to it. But talk to your DM. If they allow it, go for it. Essentially, what you do is you perform a 1-minute ceremony, and you can make 2 more copies of your familiar, who you can communicate with from a mile away. So say you are a Pact of the Chain Warlock. You have an imp or whatever the fuck. Create 2 more imps. Send them scouting while your original stays with you and chilling with you. Send those guys out to scout. They can turn invisible as well. So they're invisible scouts that you can see through their eyes a mile away. And just do everything you want. Send them into a fucking cavern and make them scout the place. Flock of Familiars is dumb and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Use it. It's great. Oh, I forgot to add this. Okay, we'll come back to that one as well. Yeah. So, again, whole person, option, invisibility, great. Mind Spike, also good. Misty Step. Ooh. This is also available to Paladins if you go Oath of Vengeance, and also available to Sorcerers as well. Misty Step is a bonus action spell, allows you to teleport yourself 60 feet away. Or is it 30?
It's 60, I believe. Let me double check that.
Yeah. 30 or 60 feet away, you can teleport yourself.
30 feet away.
30 feet. Teleport yourself out of danger. It's like Misty Step, out. I'm outie.
Yeah.
So, Misty Step out of danger, Eldritch Blossom, motherfucker. You know, fun. Misty Step is also another great. I would recommend anyone to pick this up. If you're a caster or any class,
yeah,
if you have access to Misty
it,
Step,
go for it.
Grab
for it.
It's very good. They're getting Mirror Image, Shatter, Suggestion, obvious. Wizards. Cloud of Daggers, spoke about it. Whole person, spoke about it. Visibility, spoke about it. Maximilian Earthen Grasp. It's kind of like Entangle, but does bludgeoning damage. You grab a guy, keep them stuck, smack them with whatever. It's fine. It's not. No one's really using it, honestly. You're using other things instead.
I've not seen anyone use it at all, honestly. Yeah.
Once again, Mind Spike, Mirror Image, Misty Step, Phantasmal Force, Suggestion, Tasha's Mind Whip, Web.
Yeah. Again, remember, as wizard, you're going to have access to a lot of spells. Most of these spells you'll have access to. So.
Yeah. What other people have, you most likely have access to as well. Then we come to third levels. I think we'll do third levels and call the episode because we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So third levels. For Artificers, Fly, Haste. Haste. Okay, Fly, simple, straightforward. Cast a spell, you can fly. 60 feet of movement. Fly around, do whatever you want. Concentration spell though, but 10 minutes, you're flight.
Yeah.
Haste.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! One of the most powerful spells in the game. So, for those of you unaware, it's a concentration spell that you have to cast. Put this on your front line. They have double their movement, a +2 to their AC, and they get to make an extra attack apart from, like, say it's a barbarian level 5, he has extra attack. With haste, he gets to make 1 more attack. So 3 attacks per turn. And if it's a fighter, they get to make 5 attacks per turn. With the action
it's
surge.
Basically an extra action that they get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fucking nuts. Problem though, if you lose concentration on haste, the person, either you or the other person, is stunned for. They basically lose their turn.
So the moment it wears off, you basically just. Like you lose all this adrenaline. Take that as what haste is essentially is what it does to you. It's a magical form of adrenaline, and that suddenly wears off, and you're like, oh, you need a second like, to catch your breath.
Yeah, you lose. Basically, you lose a turn.
Yeah,
if it drops, but if it stays up, oh my god, you are a fucking
small price to pay for what you can do with it. Like I've had it procced on me as a barbarian, and it's the most amazing thing.
It's so good.
That's I can't wait for next weekend when we go play. Oh my god, poor Benji.
Yeah, poor Benji's gonna be so upset. twin cast haste, go have fun.
Yes.
Revivify. The lowest level form of resurrection magic there is.
Resurrection.
Yeah, someone dies, cast Revivify. Only problem is you need 300 gold worth of diamond dust on your person, which the spell consumes. So, if you're heading to town, you got a chunk of change on you, grab diamond dust. Because you never know when someone's going to die. And bring them back instantly with a turn. But then you can use this So say someone dies in the middle of combat. You can use Revivify within a minute of their death. If it's longer than a minute, then Revivify takes no effect. So keep that in mind. But Revivify, powerful, resurrection, bring someone back from the dead. But again, if you're brought back from the dead, you do have minuses to your skills because you died. Yeah. Your soul was ripped out of eternity and brought back to a body that's dead. So you take minuses to your fucking stats.
Yeah.
Then we have Water Walk and Water Breathing. Both are ritual spells. Water Breathing lasts for 24 hours. You can breathe underwater. Simple as that. Water Walk lasts for an hour.
Water Walk, I believe, is let me check if it's an hour or 24. Because one of them is 24. Yeah, it's an hour.
Yeah. So Water Walk, you're Jesus. You can walk on water.
Yeah. Water Breathing is 24 hours.
By the way, Water Walk also works on, it just says liquids. You can walk over lava.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, anything.
Walk on lava, walk on
I
acid.
actually checked it. I had to check this once for myself, just for my own sanity to check. I was like, does it actually? And like a lot of people, yeah, I mean, it just says liquid. So.
It's just liquids, yeah. Any liquid surface you can walk over.
Yeah.
So have fun with that. I mean, see, the thing with lava is you get burnt by the lava. But
you still get burnt.
Yeah,
you'll take heat damage. Yeah.
Stuck. Because if you fall in lava, it's that's a lot of damage. But yeah, so that's for artificers. Grab those. For bards, we have Dispel Magic. Fantastic. Magical effects around you. Just dispel that fucking magic.
Yeah.
Like you can dispel stuff like Spirit Guardians. You can dispel Spiritual Weapon. Lehman's Tiny Hut. All these things you can just dispel the damn thing. Any magical effect that you are able to, that it specifically says that can't be dispelled, can be dispelled with Dispel Magic. And of course, if you're smart like most other people, you're going to use your what's the thing called? The Bard's magic thing. Arcane Secrets and pick up counter.
Arcane Secrets. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you were saying. The Bard's magic thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, narrowing it down. Paul.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Your magical secrets grab counterspell.
Yeah.
Counterspell is dumb. Counterspell is good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we get somebody who actually gets it innately. Hypnotic Pattern, 20-foot cube, wisdom saving throw, I believe, and they are incapacitated as long as they don't take damage. And they get to make a save again at the end of their turn. So
it's pretty cool.
It's good. It's good CC. You can if there are enough people within a 20-foot cube, you can incapacitate them
30
all. 30-foot cube. There you go.
Yeah.
Incapacitate them all and just walk away from them, or just run. Whatever. Just leave them there, looking like a bunch of dumb idiots. Essentially, it's that scene from Being Hypnotized. Essentially, these hypnotized they become drooling idiots looking at something that doesn't exist, and the rest of you run or attack them and kill them immediately. Leomund's Tiny Hut. Oh my god!
What a beautiful spell.
Beautiful spell.
Another ritual spell.
A ritual spell, yeah. If you're looking for a safe haven in a dark and dangerous place, cast up Leomund's Tiny Hut. It's a 10-foot radius of a hut which blends into the surface it's on. Only medium creatures can go in. A large creature goes in, then it breaks.
Yeah.
But it lasts for the duration of 8 hours. It's cool. You can control the temperature inside, so it's warm, and you could be in frigidly freezing cold weather and be nice and warm inside your hut.
My God.
Spells can't enter. Spells can't leave it. However, you can stand in the hut and stab people from inside, and they can't stand.
Poke.
They can't see in, but you can see out. It's nuts. It's actually very good. Like, if you can get your hands on Leomund's Tiny Hut, use it. And the best part is...
especially as a bard, if no one else in the party has access to it, get it.
Yeah.
Be the one who gets it. Trust me, they love you for it.
Yeah, it's great. And the best part is if you're a scribe wizard, insta-cast that shit. Middle of a fight.
God, yes.
Middle of a fight, you can cast it instantly.
Stupid.
And you've
Just
created a
irritate your
dome of
DM.
protection. Yeah, piss them off. It's great. Major Image. It's like it's like minor illusion, but it's massive and it can make sounds and noises. So again, you can create some scary fucking shit. And again, using Thaumaturgy, you can make it even scarier by making its eyes glow and shit. It's great. Major Image is fantastic. Mass Healing Word. It's healing word, 60-foot radius.
Spell,
everybody in range gets healed by 1d4. It's great.
Yeah.
Don't need vision on them also. It's just like, can you hear me? Cool. Fucking go. Mass Healing Word. Great. Sending. Underrated as fuck.
Ooh.
Very powerful.
What a beautiful spell.
You can send a 25-worded message across planes. Distance unlimited. However, if the target's on a different plane of existence, there is a 5% chance that the message won't be received. But you can call for help, talk to whoever you want across infinite distances. It's great.
Yeah.
Use it. It's like Khans use this so many times, it's amazing.
I have abused this spell.
You can do a lot with it. Then we have tongues. So tongues is like comprehend languages. But the difference is you essentially cast tongues on yourself. And whatever you speak, like say you're speaking common and you're up against somebody who doesn't understand common, they hear it as their own language to them. So you can talk to anybody and everyone can understand you without problems. That's the beauty of tongues. It sounds like the language that they speak. So let's say you are in a mixed group of people who all don't speak the same language. Cast tongues on yourself. Whatever you speak, they will understand it in their own native tongues. So it's always useful for communication. And especially for a bard, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Cast tongues, do a performance, and everyone knows what you're saying. It's great. That's pretty much the third level spells for a... Again, Arcane, if you use your magical secrets, you can pick up other spells as well, but that's up to you to decide. Clerics. Animate dead. You want to do it? Go for it. Fucking zombies, skeletons, come. Fucking let's go. Fight. Fight for me. Aura of Vitality. It sets up an aura around you.
It's a really good spell, actually. Quite underrated, this spell.
Yeah. Constantly healing people in the area. Keep them up. So like this is good if you're a frontline cleric. It's great.
Yeah.
Constantly healing yourself and whoever else is around you. Create food and water, much like Goodberry, just removes the fucking need for rations and shit.
Yeah, doesn't heal you.
Yeah, it doesn't heal you, but at least... But the thing is like, that's one thing people forget about in D&D. You have to eat, you have to sleep.
Yeah.
This just removes the fucking challenge of it all. Like, have a nice full course meal. Enjoy.
That's why I never prepared it for SKT at all. Because I was like, man, our group, we just kept hunting and stuff. So I was like, I don't even need to prepare this spell. I'm not preparing it at all.
And plus you had Goodberry, so
it's fun. Yeah.
Dispel Magic, already spoke about. Fantastic. Mass Healing Word, of course. Revivify, great. Sending, great. Spirit Guardians. 15-foot radius around you. Spectral creatures of your choice. They can look like whatever the fuck you want them to look like. They cut swords through people and they do... How much damage is it?
3d8.
3d8 radiant damage.
Well, radiant or necrotic.
Up to you. Yeah, up to your choice. Yeah. They have to make a wisdom saving throw, or they take the full damage or take half damage. But if they fail the save as well, they take full damage, and also their movement is halved. As long as they stay in it, they are getting fucked up. Spirit Guardians is dumb. It's awesome. Abuse it. Use it. Fucking go crazy with it. Cast it. Walk into a fight. Everybody's getting pummeled by whatever the fuck is you've summoned. It's great. Clerics also get tongues. Option for you. Water Walk as well. Spirit Shroud. Now, Spirit Shroud was introduced in Tasha's. Essentially, you create a spectral... You exude this almost necrotic like shield around you. And every time you hit somebody, you get to add an extra 1d8, I believe, of necrotic damage on top of your hits.
Yeah.
So, not great for a cleric per se, because I'd rather use Spirit Guardians. But if you're
That's why I never
something...
prepared it as well.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was all that great. Even though it's a bonus action, but still.
It's an option for you, should you wish to.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I would say Spirit Shroud is better used on a Paladin or on a Hexblade. But those are your options. Oh, fucking Druids. Oh. Call Lightning. You can. You are Zeus. You can just call lightning down on
missed this
motherfuckers. Concentration
Yeah.
spell. Constant. I think it's 2d10 lightning damage in an area. Was it something like that?
Let me just double check that.
But basically, just constantly bringing down lightning strikes on people. It affects a 10-foot radius though, so be careful where you're casting it. If your friends are close.
Yeah, it could affect. Yeah, it could affect your allies too.
But
Yeah,
it
some
is-
of these AOE spells you got to be careful of.
100%. Gotta be extremely careful. I'll let them know. I'm doing this.
It's
Fucking run.
3d10 lightning. Yeah.
3d10 lightning damage constantly. Bang, bang, smash, 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 smash. Just pick a location. You fuck you in particular. Boom. if you're a Tempest cleric, call lightning. Maximize the damage with channel divinity. 30 damage there. Take it. Lightning
And
damage, go.
if it's storming outside, that damage increases by 110. 1d10 basically.
So potentially 4d10. Maximize the damage. Take 40 lightning damage, motherfucker.
Druids, man. Jeez.
Do it. Dumb.
Crazy AOE.
Yeah. Conjure fucking animals. I fucking hate this spell.
Love
It's the
this spell.
Oh god. As a DM,
Love this spell.
as a DM, it sucks. As a player,
yeah,
it's
sucks as a
fucking
DM,
amazing.
but oh my god, it's amazing.
What
it's
are the rules for it
amazing.
again? What are
So-
classes?
So basically, you can conjure one beast of challenge rating 2 or lower, or 2 beasts of challenge rating 1 or lower, 4 beasts of challenge rating half or lower, and 8 beasts of challenge rating quarter or lower.
You can create a very. In fact, what you can do is conjure animals, send them into the fight first.
Yeah.
They attack everything else. They soak all the damage. They do damage. And you walk in and clean up.
Some of these guys can soak up some good damage. It's so
Like-
much fun.
In our game of SKT, Priscilla, her vultures are
Oh
fucking
god, the
MVPs.
vultures. They're MVPs, bro.
They have
They've
two attacks. They have
taken out
multi-attack.
creatures they never
Yeah.
thought they'd ever face
Yeah.
in their lifetimes.
They have multi-attacks, so they hit twice. They have pack tactics, so if they're together and attacking something, they have advantage. Those fucking vultures have crit more times than all the other players put together over the course of 9 months.
Yeah.
Those things have
It's
critted so
awesome.
many times.
This spell can really, you can do some cool shit. Really cool shit.
It's nuts.
I mean, you can
DM
summon
will hate you.
creatures to get you to fly across somewhere also
Yeah,
if you want.
summon giant
It's
eagles.
so amazing.
Go fly.
Yeah.
Taxi service.
1 hour.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
They also get plant dispel magic, which you spoke about. Plant growth, not really good in combat, but great for roleplay.
It's roleplay. Yeah.
Like if you watch a Druid episode, Steve tells you a very good use for the plant growth option. Revivify, as always. Summon Fae, new summoning spells. You can summon a Fae creature to help you. So summon Fae and go have fun. Crazy. Tidal Wave. This nearly killed us last time we played this game. But yeah, you can summon a Tidal Wave which does bludgeoning damage, and people have to make a strength saving throw, I believe. take bludgeoning
Title.
damage.
Wait, let me just double check that.
It's either a strength saving throw or it's a dexterity saving throw. And you take a certain amount of bludgeoning damage if you fail.
Dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And just, it's
4d8
destructive.
bludgeoning damage.
And you get displaced also, I believe, as well, if you fail.
Yeah.
get pushed
You get
along.
knocked prone.
Yeah, which is powerful. Then we come to the Eldritch Knight. Counterspell, Tiny Hut, Sending. Counterspell.
Yeah,
You will
good.
be using Shield and Counterspell. That's what you're
Yeah,
doing.
good selection of spells actually that they get.
But yeah, that's basically what you're doing.
Mm.
For our Paladins, Aura of Vitality. We spoke
Yeah.
about that. Crusader's Mantle. People get to add 1d6 radiant damage to their attack rolls. Dispel Magic. Already spoke about that. Remove Curse is
Yeah,
also available
remove
for
curse.
clerics as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you can remove a curse, like lycanthropy. Remove curse.
Yeah.
They are, you can no longer.
Yeah.
You can just save
It's
somebody from
literally
that.
what the spell does.
Yeah. Revivify. Spoke about Spirit Shroud. Again, great for melee characters.
Yeah.
Rangers. Conjure animals. Conjure Fae. Revivify. Water walking and water breathing.
Water
Straightforward. Arcane Tricksters. Hypnotic Pattern. Spoke about that. Major Image. Spoke about that. Phantom Steed. Ritual spell. Create a phantom horse. You can make it look as freaky as you want. It'll be awesome. And of course, Phantasmal Force. Also we spoke about. Now it comes to sorcerers. Conjure lesser demon. Counter switch. Just conjure a demon, man. Counter spell. Amazing. Dispel magic. Amazing. Fear. Obviously what it is.
Fear.
Fireball. Obviously.
Mm.
Fly. Why not? Twin cast fly. Two people can fly. Twin cast haste. People are hasted. Lightning bolt. 60 feet, 5 foot wide. Lightning attack. Dexterity saving throw or take a metric fuck ton of lightning damage. It hurts like a motherfucker. Major image. Great. Slow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Slow is fucking dumb. Abuse it. Use it. Have fun with it. It's a 20-foot diameter or a cube. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But essentially, people have to make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they are slowed. If they have multi-attack, they no longer have it. They have no reactions. Their AC drops by 2. It's basically the opposite of haste.
It's a 40-foot cube.
40-foot cube. There you go. It's the opposite of haste. It's dumb. It's awesome. Use it. Fucking one of the best CC spells in the game.
Yeah.
Moving on to Warlocks. Counterspell. Dispel magic. Fear. Fly. Hunger of Heda. You create a little pocket dimension of tentacles that smack at people.
Yeah. It's quite cool. It's quite cool.
From a flavor perspective, it's nuts. And depending on your patron, you can flavor it how you want. Spirit Shroud, if you're gonna go as a Hexblade Warlock, you also get Remove Curse. You get to summon Fae, Lesser Demons, Shadow Spawn, and Undead. Pick one of those, any of those.
Because why not?
Yeah, just summon another fucking, fleshy thing on the field to do damage or soak damage. It's great. And finally, Thunderstep, which is underrated as fuck.
Thunderstep, man. Water.
It's a good spell.
I miss Ford. I love this thing. Like, what's his name? Why am I blanking out on his fucking name, dude? Travis. Yeah. Jesus. I love Travis for his uses of Thunderstep. He used it in always the right moments. Oh my god.
What's funny is I didn't know this spell existed until I saw it on Critical Role. I was like, what the fuck is this spell? Let me look this up.
Fucking step, man. Just bam!
So essentially, you Thunderstep from where you are and you teleport 60 feet back away.
It's a fancy Misty Step.
Yeah, and you can take someone with you as well. Misty Step is you and you alone.
Yeah.
Thunderstep, you can grab somebody and move them. And wherever you left, the place where you left, a Thunder Crash smacks out. People make a Wisdom saving throw. Sorry, a Constitution saving throw. They take, I believe, 3d10 thunder damage?
Let me check that.
But they take a bunch of damage if they fail the saving throw. And if they do fail, they also get knocked prone. So, as a normal warlock, this is great. You get surrounded, Thunderstep out and make everyone take damage and knock them prone and get away from them. It's fantastic. Thunderstep is great. Hell yeah. Moving on to the wizard, and this will be the final one we're going to talk about today, because this has been a 3-hour episode. Like, holy shit.
Easier.
So third levels, the obvious ones: Counterspell, Fireball, Fly, Haste, Liamon's Tiny Hut, Lightning Bolt, Sending, Slow, Thunderstep,
everything.
And Summon, Undead, Shadow Spawn, Lesser Demons.
You are wizard.
You are wizard. You have all magic at your hands.
And these are just the spells we thought which are awesome.
Yeah, so, which again. Exactly. You guys can choose any combination or permutation of what you want. We're giving you ideas of what each of these spells can do depending on the class that you pick. And we've only hit third levels, man. There's like 6 more levels of spells to go.
6 more.
And like we mentioned, there's a lot of overlap between a bunch of classes.
Yeah.
So we won't delve into those. So hopefully, but hopefully this has given you enough and more information to make a viable character which you think would be good in terms of spell choices. You want to do damage, you want to be crowd control, you want to do utility stuff. There are so many options available to you guys that, this is just third level. This is when you hit 5th level, you get access to these kind of spells. Pick and choose what you want for the campaign that you're in, for the classes that are available in your party. Try and make combinations like Grease with fucking Spike Growth. Use Counterspell to fuck with other casters. Dispel Magic to fuck with casters. Revivify to keep your people alive. Water Walking or Water Breathing, in fact, if you're going to go for say you're on a seafaring campaign. Top of the morning, water breathing. You fall off the boat, at least you can breathe underwater.
Yeah.
It's just good stuff. Fly is always valuable. Haste is stupidly powerful. Lightning bolt is great. Slow is underrated and it's fucking awesome. Fireball, everyone knows fireball, of course, because it's fireball.
It's fireball.
Yeah, but the summon spell, the summon lesser demon, shadow spawn, undead, thunderstep, great spell. It's just fucking amazing. Use, abuse, have fun, pick what you like. And like I said, we're only at 3rd level. There are 9 levels of spellcasting, and some of those higher level spells are fucking dumb. It's unfair how dumb those spells are.
Yeah.
You think this shit's good? Mm-mm. It gets worse. I mean, better. Whatever. Whatever you want to say. It's nuts. But yeah, anything else we want to talk about before we close for today?
I think we've spoken enough for today.
I'm actually kind of parched. My throat kind of hurts, actually. That was 3 hours.
I think that was actually a good insight and run through.
Yeah.
At least level 3, that was solid.
Yeah. Like, again, I made this list myself first. Then I sent it to Con. And Con pretty much agrees with what I have here.
Yeah.
Now,
like, he told me to add to it. So I was like, maybe there's something I missed. But when I was like, these are essentially the ones I also favor. There's nothing that we missed.
Yeah. And at the same time, like, again, your spell list might be completely different.
It might be different.
Yeah. Which is perfectly fine. Again, remember, this is our opinion on the situation. This may not apply for you.
And it's because we can't sit and talk about each and every spell individually. That's something you're gonna have to do. This makes it probably easy for you to get known with some spells.
Yeah.
Like if you just want to make something and be like, okay, I don't know anything about spellcasters. Well, now we at least level 3 spells. We've spoken about the ones which, hey, you could just pick them up and you can be sure your character will be kick ass.
Yeah. It's great. Just have fun with it. Like, just mix and match. Again, like some spells may apply in some campaigns, some may not. Like if you're up against fire giants, then fireball is kind of garbage. Like immediately your most powerful spell does no damage to fire giants because they are fire giants and they're immune to fire. Again, so make sure you have a variety of spells that you are able to use. Like, for every spell level, it's good to have one damaging spell and one utility spell. Like, that's the one thing I would say is the most important thing when you're doing your spell lists. Because, say you have a barbarian fighter or whatever, they have no spell casting. They're just going to hit shit hard. You're up against a creature who some of your spells don't work. Just haste the barbarian, haste the fighter, haste the paladin. They will do the damage while you just keep doing crowd control stuff. So always try and get a good mix and match of damage and utility. Like, I don't approve of bards picking up fireball. You can. You can. But why not pick counterspell instead? Or
true.
Or spirit guardians.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, tidal wave. Or conjure animals. Or call lightning.
Again, as you said, like, you have to be smart about it. At the end of the day, there are a lot of spells. It's easy to get lost in spell choices.
Oh, good lord, Like I was saying, this list took me 2 hours to make it. I was going, fuck. Okay, this one. Okay, you get this. Oh shit, you get. Okay, fuck.
So many overlapping spells also when you're making something like this. So.
So, just take your time, especially if you're making a spellcaster, and you know what campaign you're going into, like what kind of campaign you're playing. Plan your level up spells. Plan what you're going to pick. Write it down. At this level, I'm picking up X, Y, Z. Or X and Y. Or one spell. Whatever it is. But make sure you have a plan for your build. Don't just start one day and go, fuck it. If you're an artificer, druid, or cleric, you can go fuck it. No problem, because you have access to everything. But everybody else has to make smart choices about the class, about the spells that they pick, because you have limited amount of spells they have access to. Wizards, you're missing a spell, go find a spell scroll and just scribe it down into your book. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But everybody else, it's a bit more. We have to be a little more careful. Does it make sense for me to pick this? Like, don't pick up 2 concentration spells, because then they're fighting for your concentration.
Yeah.
This comes down to the problem when it comes to druids, clerics, and paladins, for
especially
example.
those. Yeah. Those guys have the most of concentration spells. Oof.
Yeah. There's a lot of things fighting for your concentration. So be extremely careful what you pick up and prepare. Because if you say you got Spirit Guardians running, and suddenly you cast Bless, Spirit Guardians ends, Bless comes up. You can't concentrate and do spells at the same time. So keep that in mind when deciding what you're going to pick. So get damage, get utility. That'll probably be your best way to do things. Or say someone else has Fireball. You don't need Fireball. I just grab Slow instead. So Fireball is even more effective because they are disadvantaged on their dexterity saving throws. And Fireball just burns them fuck up. Whatever.
Yeah.
Or if say you're a fucking sorcerer, you can use Transmute spell and turn it into an Ice Ball or a Thunder Ball or a Psychic Ball. Have fun. Same thing with Scribe Wizards. Change the element on the fly. It's great.
Yeah.
So a lot of things you can do, which is good fun and good and great to use. But sit with your DM, talk about ideas, talk about what the campaign entails, what potentially could work, what could not work. Talk to your teammates also. Be like, dude, I'm going to pick up this spell. What are you going to pick up? And you can figure out ways to build spells that allow you to create combination spell effects. Like we mentioned before, Grease Hand, Spike Growth, or Slow with Fireball, stuff like that.
So many
options, so many things you can do. So just talk to your players, talk to your DM, come up with a spell list for yourself, and just go and have fun, dude. But don't pick shit that you're not going to use. That's the worst thing. That's really the worst feeling in the world. Picking up a spell which you think is great, like Witchbolt or Find Traps, and realize that it's actually fucking garbage. Don't. Okay, I'll tell you right now. Find Traps, don't pick it up. Fucking Witchbolt, don't use it. Crown of Madness, do not use that spell. These 3 spells, do not use them. Damage looks nice and all, and what they do is nice, but no, fuck you. It's garbage. Trust me, you don't want it. Do not pick up those spells. When I saw Laura Bailey use it, I got so angry. I was like, come on. Dumbass. Not dumbass, it's dumb. Sorry. That's unfair of me to say. She's a lovely person.
I mean,
she's a lovely person.
See, you will make wrong choices, and it's okay to make wrong choices.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And the best part is some of these classes allow you to trade in spells. So say you picked a spell, you never used it, level up, swap it out for something else. You can do that.
Yeah.
That's one of the new rules that was implemented in Tasha's. If you have spells you don't like, when you level up, you can swap them out for something else that might be more interesting for you. So, just think about it, read through the spells. Do they make sense? Does it apply for this campaign? Like if I'm going through the fire planes, Fireball is kind of useless. Lightning Bolt's good.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. So just be careful of what you're picking. There's no wrong answer, but sometimes you could have been better. Could have been nicer. Could have been more useful. But it's there. Again, make your choices carefully. Be smart about it. You will make mistakes. Trust me, I fuck up even as a DM. As a player, I've fucked up many times. I picked up spells. I'm just like, why did I pick that up? That was such a waste. Such a waste. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
Learn. We're here to help you as best as we can to give you an idea of what might work. Which is basically what this whole thing is. It's like, this is what we think you should pick up for yourselves. And it's up to you. Because I mean, again, like preparation spell-wise and picking spell-wise, every class has limitations of what you can prepare and what you can keep, what you can learn and what you can, per level. As you level up, some classes only get 2 spells, some get 3, some get 1. But the point is, choose what makes sense. If you're in a high magic campaign, counterspell, dispel magic, great. Get haste on your big bad guy, on your frontliners, go crazy. Fuck it, haste 2 people and have the other person enlarge one of them.
Yeah.
It's great. Have a giant barbarian running around at top speed. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. And again, we just want to help. We want to make your life easier. Because I wish we had this when we started. We didn't. We had to learn this on the fly. So we're hoping that this will help you make decisions easier.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. Because at the end of the day, you want to throw out a bunch of spells and have fun. That's all you give a fuck about.
Yeah.
But
magic.
Yeah, the magics. So, with all of that, that brings an end to today's episode. The longest one we've had so far, and we've only covered just a third of the spells that you have access to. So, thank you guys all so much for watching. As per usual, you can follow us on our various socials at House of Grim for me, at cornerboy24_TV for Conrad. Both of those are for Instagram. You can follow us on Twitch. If you're already here, you know my Twitch channel. You can follow my boy Conrad at twitch.tv/cornerboy24, where you can follow him and he does all his gameplays of whatever he does, mostly racing, and of course Valheim and whatever we can, we play together and have some fun together. The art before you brought to you by the lovely Priscilla Dillon. Hit her up on Instagram at Prissy Dilly for any artwork that you might want or graphic design, should you wish to. Again, we are open to any questions you want to hit us up with. So like I said, those user tags are there. Hit us up on IG. And of course, you can get any and all information that we can give to you, or we will point you to people who are smarter than us who can give you better information. And anything else? My throat hurts.
I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that hurts a lot. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys hopefully next week. Actually, no, you have a gig that week, so we won't do... So next week, we won't be able to do the show. It'll be the week after that. But like I said, thank you guys also for watching, and we'll see you guys, well, when we see you guys. So from all of us here to you guys, till then, roll for initiative and have a good game. Peace out, guys.